That's Skibbity, Ohio.
Oh, please don't.
Yeah.
Let's not do this again. Oh, guys.
It's Skibbity. It doesn't have Riz. Skibbity Toilet, Ohio.
This is the life that I live, y'all.
Skibbity.
I don't want this.
It's not Sigma.
Oh, turn the cameras off. I'm going to bed. Are you starting this?
I don't know. I don't know what any of it means.
I don't want you to.
Okay.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Magic on Main Street podcast. I'm Sean.
I'm Tabitha. And I'm Kenzie.
Over the past few years, our little family has lived the Disneyland lifestyle. As an ex-cast member, Magic key holders, and Disney Vacation Club members, we've been surrounding our lives with Disney.
We'll be your one-stop shop for Disneyland and Walt Disney World history and trivia, and all the insider information you could ever ask for on merchandise, food, shows, attractions, and everything else you should know about the parks. And don't forget the hidden Mickeys.
Our goal is to bring a little magic to your ears each week by sharing our Disney journey with you. This is Magic on Main Street.
And here you may savor the challenge and promise of the future.
Hey, welcome to the show, everybody.
I'm feeling a little discombobulated.
Why?
I don't know.
This is our second time recording today.
Yeah,
So
maybe
I think
why
we're just
feel,
tired.
Yeah, I just feel everything feels like it's in the wrong spot.
Yeah. We're also missing our kid.
That's got to be what it is.
That stinks. Anyway, hi, I'm Sean.
I'm Tabitha.
And this is the Magic on Main Street podcast. You're listening to Season 5, Episode 22. With us, as always, is Scar the Kitten and Arthur the Puppy.
And Scar is feeling better, finally.
Yeah. Thanks for everybody for all the well wishes.
Yeah, everybody who reached out. It means so much to us. It was a really scary few days.
It was.
We've had him. Yeah. We've had him since he was 8 weeks old.
Yeah.
And he's going to be 11 in October. So he's never been sick before. So this was definitely a new adventure that I don't ever have any interest in having again.
No, but I do have some, thank you everybody who reached out. But I do have some recommendations and some advice for everybody who has a pet. Get pet insurance.
Yeah.
Because this was a very minor episode that cost us a lot of money.
Yeah. So we're gonna be looking into that.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for some Loungefly bags on sale from Tabitha. I'm not kidding. Anyway,
that's just my cleaning out my closet sale. Thank you very much.
That's true. We are missing our kiddo today because she is off on adventures. She has been to 4 different theme parks in 5 days.
Mm-hmm. She's a jet setter.
Yeah, she is. So we did Raging Waters over the weekend, and then
that was so much fun.
It was a blast. We'll talk about it a little bit more before we get into our main topic today. But yeah, we did Raging Waters on Sunday. We went to Disneyland on Saturday. Mm-hmm. Raging Waters on Sunday. Mm-hmm. She did Knott's Berry Farm yesterday, so Tuesday, and today is Wednesday, and she's at Magic Mountain.
She's all over the place.
Yeah, I don't know. She's going to be sleeping good tonight.
Best summer ever.
Yeah, she's having a great summer. So she's not with us tonight, so no hidden Mickeys, but I will make up for it in our last trip because I've got a little bit of backstory to one of our favorite little coffee spots in the parks.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. We have a lot to talk about with, tons of birthdays. We've got a lot of merch. We got some food. We're going to be talking about some things that you can do outside of Disneyland that are just as fun. So that's going to be our main topic this evening. Stick around. We've got a lot of show, and we'll be right back.
Magic on Main Street podcast, perfect for Disney fans. Magic on Main Street podcast, talking about Disneyland. Magic on Main Street podcast, for when you're making your Disney plans. Magic on Main Street podcast. Sean and Tabitha will be right back. They're back.
Yeah, we are. No shout outs, but we did have a mail call. Well, I did. I'm so excited. I got physical mail yesterday.
I get so jealous when you get mail calls and I don't get nothing.
Well, I made friends with some folks online. They are comprised of a lovely couple, and they are called the Main Street Social Club, and they have a cute little shop that they just opened up. So I got this bad boy. That's the front.
How come everybody wants to talk to you? Am I unapproachable, guys?
Because you don't talk to people. I do.
I do talk to people, but nobody talks to me.
No, you don't. I do. I do all the talking.
I talk.
I'm the social butterfly. You're a caterpillar.
I'm a black cat.
Candy corn.
I'm a black cat.
Okay, maybe.
But still.
I just
I'm
make
very
friends.
approachable, guys. You could talk to me.
But anyway, so thanks for the t-shirt. It's awesome, and I can't wait to wear it in the parks. But if you want a cool shirt like that or any of their other really cool designs, you can check them out on Instagram at Main Street Social Club CO. So yeah, thanks for the mail. Really appreciate it.
Very cool, guys.
And they just opened their shop, so they have a bunch of cool, really cool designs. They've got a Mufasa one, they've got a Big Hero one. Really cool stuff. Let's get into birthdays and celebrity news. We have Sean Hayes, Just Jack, Aubrey Plaza, Mel Brooks, which Mel Brooks has been in the news lately because he just cast Josh Gad to play in Spaceballs 2.
I can't believe that's happening.
That's huge news. I know. I'm really excited about it. Let's see. Pat Morita, you know him as the Emperor in Mulan, or who else? Mr. Miyagi.
Oh, the live action?
Karate Kid.
No, Mulan.
I don't know. No, he was.
He did the voice of the Emperor? I literally didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh. The more you know.
Yeah. Well, hang on. Wait, I have that. Also, Pamela Anderson, everybody's favorite lifeguard.
I love her so much.
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
Ashley Tisdale.
Tisdale.
That's what I said. And this is a really special one. In 1958, Maynard Smith, artist, storyteller, and the greatest Disneyland cast member of all time, is born in California.
We love Maynard.
Yeah, starting at Disneyland in 1993, he has been part of many attractions over the years that included wearing a lab coat, ushering guests into Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, navigating wild waters as a Jungle Cruise skipper with a toy alligator affixed to his shoulder, and even appearing as his evil twin in the Haunted Mansion. Considered by many guests as the unofficial host of the Tiki Room, Smith retired in 2022. I had a chance to work with him, not directly, but we were cast members at the same time. So that's when I met him. And every time I saw him after that, it was just such a joy. Such a joy. He's such a cool dude.
He really is.
All right. Well, in our friends groups, our friend Jamie Simone. Rita Allen, one of the cousins. I've known her since high school. Nick Snavely, one of our buddies from the 501st. My brother and my dad, which it's weird that I'm putting them in here, but...
I didn't know they shared a birthday.
Yeah, they did. That's because I've never celebrated their birthday since we've been together.
It's okay.
I'm in therapy about this, guys. It's funny, but it's not funny.
We got lots of issues, y'all.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Our buddy Rick from Save the Pandas. You're actually wearing Save the Pandas today. Oh, how weird, because that's not new.
No, but this has been one of my favorite shirts for years now.
Yeah, so Rick from Save the Pandas, thank you so much for the shirts, because you always had really cool designs, but happy birthday also. Dave Russell, the toy doctor, and my buddy Brandon. Great lawyer and even better musician.
Sancho.
Mr. Sancho. If you like hip hop beats, like RJD2 style, just good hip hop beats. Good music. Check out Mr. Sandcho, Sandcho, Sandcho on Apple Music, Spotify, Sick beats. And he's got like 4 albums. This guy pumps them out like nothing. So definitely give him a listen.
Yeah, he's a lawyer for a fairly large company. He's
one of the
dad.
largest, the largest solar company in the United States.
Yeah, he's a dad,
dad of
to
many, of
multiple
3, 2,
kiddos.
2.
He's a musician that just throws an album out just at random, like, oh hey guys, I made this. Like,
yeah, it's
come on.
crazy. It's crazy. So yeah,
Good
check
for you,
him out
Brandon.
on Spotify or Apple Music, Mr. Sancho. But yeah, here's your song, everybody. Maybe.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear.
Jamie, Rita, Nick, Chad, Dad, Rick, Dave, and Brandon.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, everyone.
Happy birthday!
Yay. Up next, it's This Week in Disney History.
It's time for This Week in Disneyland History. We talk about things that happened in the past. Like 1928 when Walt Disney's trademark application for Mickey Mouse is filed with the United States Patent Office. Oh my.
All right. This Week in Disney History, in 1955, things are getting hot and heavy with Disneyland. They're almost open. They're just about a month away.
Whew.
So Walt Disney writes a letter from the Disney Studios to his employees and others who assisted on the creation of this new Anaheim park. He wishes to invite them all to attend the grand debut on July 17th. Walt is concerned that there won't be enough people scattered throughout the park for the television cameras. Boy, was he wrong. So he wrote a nice letter. As we come down the home stretch in the building of Disneyland, I knew you are as happy as I am with the way in which this dream of ours is coming to full life. Your contribution to the construction, the development, and the details of the park has made it possible for us to foresee that we will open Disneyland virtually completed. The few days remaining before our television preview on Sunday, July 17th, will be all important to us, but I know that we can count on you and every one of your fellow employees to do your utmost to meet our schedule. I would like to cordially invite you and your family to participate with us in the thrill of the Disneyland premiere. Within the next few days, we will have your preview tickets available. They will be distributed to you at Disneyland and will assure you and your family of a wonderful afternoon as our guests on all the rides and amusements in Disneyland. I'm sure your family will be as proud of your effort as all of us are. Sincerely, Walt Disney.
It's so sweet.
Yeah, it was really cool. So yeah, he thought that they were going to have trouble filling the park up, and it turned out he was way off.
They had it a little too full.
A little too full. All right. In 1956 at Disneyland, the Mule Pack, one of the park's original attractions, is renamed the Rainbow Ridge Pack Mules. In 1957, there's a lot that happened that year. First, Disneyland's Viewliner, a predecessor to the monorail, debuts. The system is made up of 2 separate narrow-gauge miniature trains that operate alongside portions of the Disneyland Railroad main line. Billed by Disneyland as the fastest miniature train in the world, it is Walt's first attempt at mass transit in the park. The vehicles were designed by Walt Disney Imagineer Bob Gurr and were based on General Motors' futuristic Las Vegas Aerotrain. Their coaches were constructed by a company called Standard Carriage Works, and the locomotives were built in the machine shop of the Walt Disney Studios. The Viewliner will operate until September 1958. Date night at Disneyland premieres on this evening in 1957. The Anaheim Park extends its operating hours to 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday nights, and for the first time attempts to attract young dating couples as a dating hotspot.
Ooh.
Yeah. Prior to this, Disneyland has been primarily a daytime theme park. The popularity of the evening events will lead to a 1958 LP record, Date Night at Disneyland, featuring the music of Elliott Brothers Orchestra. And I have a really cool little hat. Yeah, so I showed you a hat last week that my friend... And actually, I didn't because our video didn't work.
Last week was rough.
Oh,
y'all.
man, that was a rough night. Anyway, so my friend Nicole... I've talked about her before. We're tattoo buddies, and we are friends from the park. Made me this really cool hat.
So you talked about it in last week's episode, just
Yeah,
nobody got to
just
see
nobody
it
got to see it.
because we didn't have any.
Oh, so yeah, Date Nighters, Disneyland. This is what they're talking about. Pretty cool. All right. Also in 1957, Disneyland's Casa de Fritos, a Mexican eatery in operation since August 1955, opens at a new location, a one-story adobe structure, which will later become Casa Mexicana. Its famous chip dispensing machine is also relocated to a fenced-in area just outside the entrance. Fun fact, this is the actual birthplace of Doritos.
So crazy.
Yeah. It's wild. All right. So 1974 at Disneyland, the America Sings attraction officially opens to the public in Tomorrowland's Carousel Theater. A special press preview is held with invited guests receiving a promotional version of the soon-to-be-released LP record and a painted casting of Eagle Sam. Sam, voiced by Burl Ives, guides visitors through 4 big musical acts, each with a medley of period tunes. The attraction, featuring over 110 audio animatronics animal characters, replaces the General Electric Carousel of Progress, which has moved to Walt Disney World.
It's a great,
so, when did that close?
What?
America Sings.
I'm too young to know this.
Yeah, I know. I'm just... it closed in 1988, so I had to have gone to Disneyland before 1988.
Because you saw...
I remember seeing this.
Oh.
I'm going to piece together my Disneyland history through this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I had to have gone.
You should probably
then.
eventually go through your photos too.
There's none.
Oh, you already went through them?
I've looked. Yeah, so I had to have gone before 1988. So that 1988, I would have been 9. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I went before I was 10.
Okay.
All right. I'll have to figure that out. 1986, Big Thunder Ranch, a recreation of a late 1800s working ranch of the western U.S., officially opens at Disneyland, presented by Central Soya Inc., which produces livestock feed. The 1.72 acre features farrier shop, petting farm, Circle D corrals, pastures, and ranch house. Later in its life, it became home to the Big Thunder barbecue.
R.I.P.
Which was probably the best restaurant on property.
It was so good, y'all.
We were just talking about that the other day, Brendan and I. Man, I miss that place. Mm-hmm. It was the only place that you can get like all you can eat food. Mm-hmm. And it was good barbecue food.
It was so good.
I mean, I love Galaxy's Edge, don't get me wrong. Of course I love Star Wars Land.
I just wish it could have remained.
I wish they could have put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they put it in like the Golden Horseshoe? Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah. I don't know.
Or make Stage Door the seating area out in front of Stage Door, the barbecue.
They could have done something.
They could have done something. I don't know. If we ran Disneyland. All right. Last but not least, in 1999, 1999, at Disneyland, a Main Street window is dedicated to the former chairman of the Walt Disney Attractions, Dick Nunis. If you don't know, receiving a window on Main Street is like one of the highest honors you can get, or actually the highest. Dick Nunis and Mickey Mouse ride out from the gate beside the Mad Hatter in a little blue motor car while the Disneyland band plays Zippity Doo-Dah. On May 26, 1999, exactly 44 years to the day since he joined the company, Nunis retired as chairman of Walt Disney Attractions.
How cool.
Yeah, so his window says, coast to coast, people moving, world leader in leisure management, Dick Nunis, proprietor, started in 1955, offices Anaheim, Orlando, Tokyo, wave machine specialty. And that's an inside joke because at Walt Disney World, he tried to create a real like wave machine for surfing. And
oh, I remember we were watching something about that.
It's on, I think, Behind the Attraction or something.
Oh, we just have to plug our show.
Always have to plug our show. But yeah, it didn't work because they were using fresh water. And the reason waves work in the ocean is because they're heavy buoyancy. From salt water. So that didn't work out.
Okay.
So this was kind of an inside joke having that on his window. So
that's funny.
Yeah. All right. Well,
wait, no. Oh. I have one more.
Oh.
It's I should have added it and I completely forgot. So I just have to like say it from memory. Memory?
Do you remember?
Yes, I remember. On this day in Disney history, in 2013, Sean and Tabitha became friends.
Oh, June 26th. Holy smokes. That's the start of our career. Mm-hmm. Our career. That's crazy.
Yeah. We became Facebook friends today, 11 years ago.
That's wild.
And then met in person a little over a month later. And then started dating.
Was it a month?
Yeah, because we met at the end, or at the very beginning of August, like in person.
I thought it was in September. Mm-mm. Yeah, it was September 6th.
No, we had met before that.
Mm-mm. We met at Dapper Day.
I thought it was
6th.
August 26th.
No, September 6th.
Okay, and then the
Dapper Day.
13th is when we like kind of started dating a little bit.
Yeah. That's crazy. Well, happy Facebook Day. Happy Facebook friendiversary.
Happy
That's
Facebook
crazy.
Day.
Awesome. Well, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah. All right. Well, that was This Week in Disney History. Up next, it's the news.
This just in. Breaking news.
News.
In Disney news, Disney Cruise Line news specifically, they've revealed exciting details about their upcoming ship, the Disney Adventure. This ship will be the first Disney vessel to sail from Singapore, featuring beloved Disney storytelling, service, and entertainment. The Disney Adventure is expected to set sail in either 2025 or 2026. That's a very small time frame. Key highlights for the Disney Adventure includes areas themed to Marvel and Big Hero 6. That's awesome. I love hearing that.
Yeah.
Providing guests with immersive and thrilling experiences. This aligns with Disney's ongoing efforts to integrate popular franchises into their cruise offerings. Additionally, the Disney Adventure will feature a wide range of entertainment and amenities designed to cater to families and Disney fans of all ages. If you're thinking about booking a Disney cruise or any other Disney trip, please reach out to our official travel agent, Traveling Tabs, at magiconmainstreet.com/travel.
I have a website.
Yeah. Let's see if I get it done before I publish this episode.
Right? Adventures by Disney is also starting new trips out of Singapore as well. I think they're trying to line it up to where you can do a cruise and then do an add-on Adventure by Disney.
That'd be cool.
In Singapore. So.
Yeah. I don't have any interest in Singapore. I don't even know where Singapore is.
Okay.
Where is Singapore?
I couldn't tell
Thailand?
you like precisely where Singapore is.
You don't know.
I don't.
I mean, precisely means you have no idea where it is either.
No, like I don't. Like I literally, I don't know what country. Like I.
Oh, it's a country.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's what. You didn't let me finish talking. I was trying to say I don't know what countries it's near.
Johor Bahru.
What's Johor Bahru?
I don't know if that's the thing.
Why'd you say it then?
It's on the map.
Oh, okay. Then it's a thing.
But I don't know if it's a country. I don't know. Okay, Singapore is below Malaysia.
Okay.
Below Thailand, Malaysia, Cambodia.
Okay.
Okay. I'm very dumb. I'm dumb to this. I'm sorry.
I had no idea what countries it was near. That's why I was like.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Singapore.
It's coastal though, right?
Yeah, it's like at the tip of that Asian area. Well, it is. It's an Asian area. I don't know what you call that part of Asia.
Is it north?
No.
South? East?
Here, let's see.
West?
West or west? It is. So it's east of the lowest part of. Southeast of Sri Lanka. So southeast of India.
Okay.
I don't know what you would call that. It's in, I don't know, kind of in the South China Sea.
Southeast Asia.
It's west of directly west of Indonesia.
Yeah, that would be Southeast Asia.
Okay. So we learned something today. Mm-hmm. You're welcome for the geography lesson. I love geometry. Okay. Up next. Did you want to read this one or do you want me to do this one?
I will do it. I just created a little mini earthquake over here.
I saw that.
Genie Plus is getting revamped. Weird.
Everybody's so mad right now.
Oh, Sean's throwing stuff. That's how mad he is.
Angry.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It's so okay. So before you get
can't
into
even get
this,
our words out. Just,
before you get into this, Disney basically went. Fans went, we don't like Genie Plus. And they're like, okay, great, we'll get rid of it. What we're going to give you is the ability to book your lightning lanes ahead of time. Oh, so we're like, oh, okay, cool.
But only at Disney World.
At Disney World. So it's basically, we're getting Fast Pass Plus back. Mm-hmm. And they're like, yes, but you have to pay for it.
It's not free anymore.
Yeah.
Suckers.
Yeah.
So, starting July 24th, you'll be able to book lightning lanes before you arrive at Walt Disney World. Genie Plus will become Lightning Lane Multipass.
Multipass.
And individual Lightning Lane will change to Lightning Lane Single Pass.
Multipass.
Is that why you were asking me if I had seen Fifth Element?
Yeah, everybody is putting up memes about, Multipass.
Okay, that makes sense now. Lightning Lane Multipass, formerly Genie Plus, at Walt Disney World, you can book up to 3 lightning lanes before you arrive. Resort guests can book 7 days prior, and all other guests can do 3 days prior. On the day of your visit, once you use the lightning lane, you can book an additional lightning lane at any park, and you can hold 3 multipass lightning lanes at any time.
Multipass.
The lightning lane single pass. These will function the same as the current individual lightning lane passes. However, now you'll be able to purchase and plan before you arrive at Walt Disney World.
Can I talk about the Disneyland part?
Go for it.
Awesome. So at Disneyland, we're going to use the new Lightning Lane Multipass and Lightning Lane Single Pass names starting on July 24th, and nothing else is changing.
Yep. Yep.
So.
That's cool.
For good measure. It's just a name change at Disneyland. We don't get any other features. We don't get to book in advance. We don't get anything cool. Just a name change.
Yep.
So
we'll still get to keep the features of Disney Genie services.
Yeah, which is nice because it is a good feature. Like those app features are pretty cool. Like being able to plan your day and see everything coming up. Like that's good.
You want to know how often I use that?
Never.
Yep.
Me either. It's just cool. I think it's cool. All right.
Sure.
Also at Disneyland, we have some closures coming up starting August 5th. So you have a little bit of time, about a month and a half. Disneyland Railroad will be closing. Space Mountain, the Animation Academy at DCA, along with Turtle Talk with Crush, and Anna and Elsa's Royal Welcome will all be closed.
They haven't said that the actual building, like lobby itself, will be closed as of yet.
I hope not.
It's not listed anywhere. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are hoping is they'll keep the lobby open for a place to like go and chill and cool off. But yeah, it may come August 5th the whole area might be closed. So who knows?
Yeah, because it didn't list the Sorcerer's Workshop. Mm-mm. Just the other spots. Mm-hmm. So
and like Beast Library is already closed because of the Imagination Campus refurbishment.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is news. Up next, it's merch.
Let's talk about merch. Let's talk about a bunch of cool stuff. Let's talk about merch.
Okay, so in this household, we've had many a fight with our 15-year-old daughter about keeping her phone charged. These kids are on their phones 24/7, and so their batteries die no matter how good their phone is. Kenzie's got one of the newest iPhones, and she can't make her phone last more than half a day. So I've made it a rule in this house that you don't leave without a portable charger and cord in your pocket or whatever bag you have. And I know that a lot of families like to have these for their kids, but also when you're at Disneyland, you're pretty tech heavy because you have to use the app for a lot of, ordering and what are we calling it now? Multipassing. So You're using your phone a lot more. You need juice in the park. So around the park, there are these fuel rod stations. I don't know if you've ever used them. They cost $30. You get a fuel rod. It's about this big. I wish I had one. Do I have one around us somewhere? No.
I think it's in my purse.
They're about this big. Yeah, I've got one in my backpack over there. They're about this big, and they come with they come in a little tube with all of the different attachments you need. So they've got a lightning charger, they've got a USB-C and a USB micro or whatever it's called. Micro, I guess.
Yes.
USB micro.
I
Anyway.
don't know.
Yeah, so it comes with all those things. It's $30. You pay one time, and then you can exchange them once they're drained in the machine for free. You just pop it in, and it pops out a fresh one. Well, I have a better deal for you. For $34.99, you can get 2 of them. So you'll save almost $30, and you get 2 for the price of almost 1. It has the same functionality. You drop it into a machine once it's drained, and you get a new one. So if you want to take advantage of this deal, or if you drink water, do you drink water? I drink water. I found a ton of Disney-themed water bottles, and also some water bottles for kids that you can take into the park and refill around. You can get free water cups at any of the quick service restaurants. There's bottle refill stations around the park. So if you're looking for a way to stay hydrated and stay juiced up on your devices, head over to our Amazon list and just pick up one of these awesome items. You're going to head over to magiconmainstreet.com/Amazon, and you'll find everything I'm talking about right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good little plug, babe.
Thanks.
Proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
There is a whole lot of stuff on DisneyStore.com and in the parks. One of the big things that was recently released that is still listed as pre-order on DisneyStore.com, but it has already been spotted at Elias & Co. at DCA, is the new Lily Pulitzer collection. It's
Who's that?
you know that really loud print that you don't like that we saw at the store in Adventureland that you were like, who wears this?
Yes.
It's that designer.
Okay.
She released a new collection. It's Minnie Mouse and Daisy Duck. It's full of pinks and purples and like teal. There's a whole bunch of pieces that were put out with this collection. There is a backpack, a belt bag, a weekender bag, a baseball cap, 3 different dresses, one for women's, one for girls, and one for babies, a pair of shorts, a half zip pullover, and a beach comb over pullover, which
Comb
is
over?
like, that's our beach comber pullover. My goodness. A beach comber
amazing.
pullover.
Okay.
All of this is listed as pre-order on Disney Store. It's a very pricey collection. I don't fully understand why, but it is.
What is it?
It's a
What? No, what's the price?
well, the backpack is $138.
Oh.
The little half zip pullover is $148. The baseball cap is $40.
Okay.
The shorts are $78. The belt bag is $68. The weekender bag is $148.
Oh my gosh.
The women's dress is $158. The girls' dress is $68. The baby dress set is $64. And the beachcomber pullover is $118.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not cheap, but if it's your thing, it's available on pre-order at Disney Store, and there's been a few of the pieces already seen in Elias & Co., so you can head over there and get that. 2 other things that I haven't seen anybody post about being in parks as of yet, and I also haven't seen it, but there are 2 new Bobble Bar ear headbands on DisneyStore.com. They have a multicolored jeweled ear headband that has like a on the ears it has like different colors, and then it just has the bow. And then they also have a regular looking Minnie Mouse ear headband. that has black stones on the ears, and then it's a red bow with white polka dot baubles on it. So those are super cute. Those are $39 even for both of them. So multicolored ones with a gold bow, or the black and red ones with a red and white polka dot bow. Super duper cute. There are also some new plushies that have been found at Emporium. I saw Disney Hype Beast on Instagram post about them. I've also seen other people posting about them being in World of Disney. They are little plushies of Sebastian, Flounder, Hey Hey, and Abu. They're the Disney sidekicks.
Oh, cool.
They're super cute. They're $22.99. I am kind of obsessed with the Hey Hey one. I really want it. He's like one of my favorites. I don't know why, but I just love him a lot.
Yeah, he's cute.
And then one more thing that I also saw that Disney Hypebeast had posted about. He had posted about it a few days ago, and then he posted about it again today, because when he first posted, it was completely sold out that same day. But they have been restocking Emporium and Mad Hatter. There is a new set of Rapunzel ears.
Oh.
They're super duper cute. They look just like her dress, and they've got like little accents of like the sun design. They're super cute. So I definitely think that we've got to get a pair for Kenzie, because Rapunzel is one of her things.
Yeah, for sure.
And then there's a bunch of new collections that are going to be releasing on the DisneyStore.com coming July 1st. I'll share all of the little snippets of all of the things that are coming. But so far, what they've announced is the Disney Princess styles, which I mentioned last week. Winnie the Pooh clothing for babies, Grogu accessories, Groot Guardians of the Galaxy gear, Winnie the Pooh Loungefly, new Disney Munchlings, Descendants The Rise of Red, the Star Wars logo collection, a new Disney Spirit jersey, and Mugs to Love a Latte, all coming to Disney Store July 1st.
Okay.
So I will definitely be throwing photos of all of that stuff up on Instagram in the coming week. And then as we get more photos for when those collections actually launch on the website on July 1st, we'll throw those up as well.
Great. That's all good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a lot of merch. Up next, it's food.
Ooh.
Disney food.
All right, food. What are we talking about here?
All kinds of
stuff. There's all kinds of stuff. In downtown Disney, downtown Disney is becoming like a hotspot for food, including the opening of Din Tai Fung.
Yeah.
So they've been doing some soft openings on select dates at select times, and they've got reservations available right now on their website. But their official opening date has been announced as July 1st. So this coming week.
Next week.
Yeah, really exciting. We love Din Tai Fung. It's good. They have a lot of great food. Everything they have there is delicious, but their dim sum, so like their dumplings and buns and xiaolong bao, wontons, like everything that like is a stuffed something or other is delicious. Our favorite item is called xiaolong bao, and it's actually a soup dumpling.
I think I have a new favorite though.
Oh, you like that shumai? Yeah.
The pork and sticky rice, so good.
Yeah.
And then we also have a slight obsession with the green beans.
Yes.
Sometimes we also get the spicy noodles, which are super good. And then the chocolate xiaolong bao. And Kenzie loves the red bean buns. Those are like a must order for us.
Yeah, the chocolate xiaolongbao is crazy good.
Yeah.
It's just like
chocolate
melty,
mochi.
chewy, melty, gooey chocolate in a chewy wrapper. It's so delicious.
We love it. But yeah, definitely if you haven't tried it before, it is a higher price point. So definitely be prepared, especially if you're going with a few people. The smartest thing to do really is to order a bunch of different things to share. But that does, start to add up after a while. So definitely anticipate a little bit higher of a bill for that, but it's definitely worth it. The food is great. They take a lot of time and effort to train the people in their kitchen to make sure that everything is authentic and everything is being made exactly the way they feel it should be across all of their different locations. So yeah, definitely check it out. We also have a couple foodie guides right now. We have a 4th of July foodie guide that is for both coasts. We've got Disney World Resort and Disneyland Resort. I'm going to skip over Disney World because I have a couple of things to go over for them already.
Okay.
But at Disneyland, at various candy locations across the resort, like Bing Bongs, Candy Palace, and Trolley Treats, available starting June 30th through July 4th. And these things will also be available on mobile order. They will have a 4th of July apple, which is an apple dipped in caramel, and then it has a red and blue chocolate coating, and then drizzled with white chocolate and white candy stars. They also have a 4th of July cereal treat, which is the Mickey Rice Krispie treat on the stick. Also dipped in red and blue with stripes and stars, and then a marshmallow wand, same sort of thing, dipped in red and white with stripes and stars. In downtown Disney at Black Tap Craft Burgers and Shakes on 4th of July only, they will have a red, white, and blue cake shake, which is a vanilla shake featuring vanilla frosted rim with red, white, and blue sprinkles, topped with a red, white, and blue cake, whipped cream, and cherry.
That's Skibbity, Ohio.
Oh, please don't.
Yeah.
Let's not do this again. Oh, guys.
It's Skibbity. It doesn't have Riz. Skibbity Toilet, Ohio.
This is the life that I live, y'all.
Skibbity.
I don't want this.
It's not Sigma.
Oh, turn the cameras off. I'm going to bed. Are you starting this?
I don't know. I don't know what any of it means.
I don't want you to.
Okay.
At California Churro from July 4th through the 7th, they're going to have the Firecracker Churro. It's a churro rolled in strawberry sugar, cut in half, drizzled with marshmallow fluff, and sprinkled with red and blue popping candy pieces. At Paseo on July 4th only, a reservation is also required. They are having a 4th of July dinner where you can enjoy an upstairs view of the night sky with a prefix meal highlighting some Paseo classics, as well as some limited time offerings for the day. I don't know how you can call it classics when they just opened, but cool.
Yeah, that's true.
So weird. Splitsville Luxury Lanes from July 4th through 7th, they're going to have a Liberty Lemonade, which is raspberry vodka, raspberry puree mixed with lemon juice, simple syrup, and lemon lime soda. That sounds delightful.
All right.
And Wetzel's Pretzels from the July 4th through the 7th will have a Berry Bomb, which is frozen blended beverage topped with popping candy. So it's just a red, white, and blue slushy.
All right.
It sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
And then just a little sneak peek of some stuff for Florida. They are going to be having Flavors of Florida returning to Disney Springs, presented by Quirksicle. That'll start on July 1st and it'll run through August 11th. There's going to be over 40 flavor-filled locations across Disney Springs that will have must-try items that are all about the vibe of Florida. So lots of citrus, things like an orange slushy from Amorette's, a key lime pie marshmallow from Wonder Made, pork belly burnt end tacos from City Works. Debuting on July 1st, they will also be doing a Sunshine Stroll, which is some beers that are going to be available at Disney Springs at Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar and outdoor vending carts throughout Disney Springs. They'll also be having appetizers that they are incorporating the brews to. Every year when we go, like in the summer, I always say that I want to go try some of these things, and I always forget by the time we're there. But I really do want to go and try a couple of these things because I love like citrus flavors, and I think a lot of this stuff sounds super delicious. Like they're gonna have a dragon fruit mojito at Chef Art Smith's Homecoming, a sunshine shake at Chicken Guy. The pork belly burn-in tacos that I had mentioned have an orange blossom honey barbecue sauce and a key lime coleslaw. Right? They're going to have a St. Augustine barbecue poutine, a bourbon orange punch. There's all kinds of stuff all up and down Disney Springs, all of the different locations. There's restaurants, there's quick eats, there's things that are going to be at Gideon's. They have an orange mocha nitro cold brew and key lime pie cake bars. Ghirardelli will have a key lime pie shake. So lots of really good citrus flavors that really just say Florida.
Yeah.
So definitely if you are a citrus person and you are going to be in Florida, pop on over to Disney Springs. Take a look at this guide and just look at the different things, see what calls to you, and head on over to one of those restaurants and grab something, because I know this year it's something I definitely want to do.
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was some good food stuffs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was food. Up next, we're going to talk about events and entertainment.
Entertainment, events, entertainment and events, entertainment, events, entertainment and events, entertainment, events, entertainment and events, entertainment and events. Here we go, yeah.
Oh yeah.
This dog has me sweating over here.
I can imagine. Well, you also have a blanket on.
Well, because his hair is short and pokey, and when I'm wearing shorts, I don't want him just laying directly on my legs because it hurts. But Lord, I am toasty over here.
I bet. This is not really Disney news. It hasn't been for decades, but it's somewhat Disney news. So today it was announced that the Anaheim Ducks will have a new logo starting in the new season. Yeah, and they're actually reintroducing the original Donald Duck logo, which was the hockey mask in the shape of Donald Duck's face. That's where Wild Wing came from. But they've made some enhancements, so it's going to be on gold. It's going to be on orange with gold highlights. So it's going to be like a traditional. Well, I don't want to say traditional. Like their most current branding of an orange sweater. With black and white highlights, but it's going to have the original like Mighty Ducks type logo with some gold highlights on there. So like a gold brow, some sharper edges, just kind of a modern take on that original Mighty Duck, Donald Duck face logo. And I love it.
They'll continue to be showcasing the old logo because they're placing that on the shoulders of the New Jersey.
Yeah, so they'll keep that D mark. I think it's awesome, and I think that Ducks fans have always loved the Mighty Ducks logo. Just because they were no longer the Mighty Ducks doesn't mean that they wanted that mask logo to go away. And so you would see anytime they would do any kind of a throwback jersey, whether it was in their traditional eggplant and teal or a different color, people flocked to that original logo. And so this change, I think, is huge, and I know the fans are excited. I'm a fan. I'm excited. You're a fan. You're excited. They put out some cool videos today. So, yeah, definitely check it out. Cool?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about Disneyland. Oogie Boogie Bash tickets went on sale during our break between episodes, and we actually got in... It was actually the easiest Oogie Boogie Bash process we've ever been through. Ever. And we've gone to many. So we logged in at about 8:45 a.m. This was yesterday, right? Yeah. They had the Inspire Key presale. So it was Inspire Key presale, and then All Magic Key presale, and then tomorrow will be everybody. So by the time you're listening to this, it's open or sold out. We don't know. But yes, we logged in at 8:45. At 9 o'clock, the queue opened, and we were placed in queue. I logged in before you did, and I had both my computer and my phone because I was going to Disneyland, and so I wanted to make sure that I had something on my phone. But by 9:30, we were checked out. 9:40.
Oh, 9:30, we were completely
we were checked out. We got the date that we wanted, which is not normal. And we checked out. So pretty easy process.
Well, and like, because we always go on multiple screens to like just up our chances, you know? And so like Sean said, he had his two. I had my personal computer, my work computer, and my phone. And my phone queue was only 3 minutes behind Sean's computer queue. And then both of my computers were like 15 minutes behind that. So like it was so like the smoothest I have never gone into a queue and not had it say more than an hour.
Yeah.
It like literally the second we were in the queue, it was like 32 minutes.
Yeah.
We were like,
mine was 35 minutes.
We were both like, huh?
Yeah, because the last year we waited almost 8 hours.
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah. So we were prepared for that.
And even waiting that long, we still weren't the ones who got in the queue.
You're right. We weren't.
We had somebody else get them for us.
Yeah. Voldemort. So we this unfortunately, because of the release time of this episode, this isn't so much advice. This is more of a, it's happening already. It already happened, and I hope it worked for you. I hope that you got the date that you wanted.
I know we talked about this a few episodes ago, but this is another gentle reminder. Do not resale tickets. Do not buy resale tickets.
Don't do it.
If you sell your make sure you can go.
Yeah.
Do not buy something in hopes that you can go and then be like, oh, I'm going to just have to sell these. Do not resale your tickets. You will get your pass taken away and you will get banned.
Yeah, don't do it.
They've already done it.
It's not worth it.
Not worth it. Not worth it for a Halloween party. You can come to my house and I will give you applesauce and carrots and apples and candy.
Yeah.
And I'll even dress up. It's fine. Don't do it. It's not worth it. I don't want you guys to miss out on a lifetime of happiness in the parks for one day.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
All right. So I hope you got your tickets. We got ours. We're going to be going on October 6th. So we realized in the past we were trying to go a little bit early so that we could talk about it on the show, not really thinking that the tickets are already sold. Yeah. So it's not like we're talking about it and like promoting the event for you to go get tickets. It's already passed. So we might as well go when we want to go, you know?
And just tell you about it.
Yeah, because if we went early in August or late in August, which is their earliest date, we're talking about Halloween in August? Yeah. I don't want to do that.
Well, and honestly, like we can start game planning ahead of time, like and talk about like what we are going to do. That way, if you are one of the people who have tickets, it can help you plan your day. So we don't have to be there to do all of that.
Oh, I did want to talk about something as it relates to Oogie Boogie, and I'll talk about it more as we get closer to the event. I had not one, not two. I had 5 different messages, whether it was a comment or a direct message from people talking about their husbands not wanting to dress up. How do I convince my husband to dress? It was the same message from multiple people. How do I convince my husband?
Because I got 3 messages of, is it worth it?
That too. Yeah, that too. I think it's worth it. I do
too.
I mean, we wouldn't go if we didn't think it was worth it. It's a fun experience. You get the treat trails, you get candy, you get the parade.
Special event tickets that we don't question whether or not we're going to spend that money.
It's the only one.
We know we are going to, and we're going to make it work.
Yeah. It's our Halloween. Mm-hmm. We don't do big Halloween. This is our Halloween.
Yeah, because we have a teenager this year at Halloween time. She's going to be 16 years old. She doesn't want to go trick or treating with Tabitha and Daddy anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
so this is our chance to stay in the loop of her trick-or-treating plans. So
and she loves it.
yeah,
this
she
is
does.
her jam.
And as a family, we just really enjoy this. But back to the costume thing, I'm really bummed that people are like, how do I convince my husband to dress up? Do people dress up? Yes, people dress up. This is Halloween.
They go all out. I've seen some of the coolest costumes at Disneyland.
We were some of them last year. We
Yeah,
went
we
as
were.
Jungle Cruise. I was a skipper. The girls were all animals, and Amy made a Jungle Cruise boat out of a stroller,
It was so
which
stinking
held
cool.
our candy, which was perfect. But yeah, people dress up, and I want to say, like, hey, dudes listening, get over yourself.
You are not too cool to
You're not
dress
too
up.
cool to dress up. You're going to Disneyland anyway, you nerd. Just dress up. You Disney adult loser. Just kidding. I'm one of them.
I was like, too close.
No. I'm a Disney adult. What can how do I make fun of a Disney adult? I'm
Right?
one of them. I've got this guy on my hand.
Yeah, just nope. Disneyland is the one place where you can go and you can, even if it's not Halloween, you can like dress up and wear your cool things like to your heart's desire, and nobody's gonna bat an eye because you're at Disneyland.
Yeah, just make your family happy. Dress up. And if you're one of those people that messaged us and you're trying to convince your husband,
Put him on
and
right
he
now, I'll
doesn't
talk to
listen, rewind this 30 seconds and have him listen to what I
Make
just
your
said.
wife happy.
Get over it. Wear a costume.
Do
make
you
your
want her to
family
cry
happy.
at Disneyland? She'll cry at
You
Disneyland.
jerk. You big jerk.
Do you
bully.
want me to punch you in the head because you made your wife
wait,
cry
hang
at
on.
Disneyland?
We're going off the rails.
Do you want me?
Stop. Hey, calm down. Shh.
Sorry.
Sorry about that. Don't. Shh. All right. Anyway, yes, we all dress up and it's fun. So do that. All right, that's Oogie Boogie Bash. I came across this. I'm going to play. Tabitha's going to kill me because I'm going to play this video. So there's a viral trending song that's going around. And it is basically a girl said a set of lyrics that she made up and then basically like challenged the internet to make it a song. And the lyrics were, I'm looking for a man in finance, 6'5". Looking for a man in finance, trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes. And a bunch of different producers and DJs put beats to it. Well, it was only a matter of time before somebody made a Disney version. So, thanks to a lovely young lady named Samantha Souza, you can find her on Instagram at the Samantha Souza. She made a fantastic video and song in the vein of Man in Finance. And it's called, I'm looking for a Disney guy? I'm looking for a man at Disney is what it's called. So, and she gave me permission to play this. I asked her.
I'm looking for a man at Disney. Magic Key Club 33. I'm looking for a man at Disney. Buying lightning lanes for me. I'm looking for a man at Disney. Disney. I'm looking for a man at Disney. Disney. I'm looking for a man at Disney. Magic Key Club 33. I'm looking for a man at Disney. Baby, he has DVC. I'm looking for a man at Disney. Disney. I'm looking for a man at Disney. Main Street for a shopping spree. Girl, did you see that? He's got the high score on Midway Mania. Oh my God! I'm looking for a man at Disney. I'm looking for a man at Disney. I'm looking for a man. I'm looking for a man. Looking for a man. I'm looking for a man at Disney. I'm looking for a man at Disney.
Oh, that is so good. That is so funny. I absolutely love that song.
It's so funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm really excited because, of course, they're going to throw in Club 33. But when she said DVC, I was like, that's amazing.
You don't even know what DVC is, homie.
Me?
Yes, you.
What do you mean I don't know what DVC is?
Log in right now. Show me how to use it.
I don't know how.
Exactly.
Well, like Brendan and I were saying last week, he's coined it pass holder princesses.
You are.
I am 100% a pass holder. I don't even know how to. I went to Disneyland by myself yesterday and ordered lunch all by myself.
I saw the charge come through and I was like, he figured it out.
I know. Anyway, so if you like that song, please go give Samantha some views, because she and I think it was her brother that worked on this together.
Her brother's making beats?
Yeah, I think so.
Are they the new Billie Eilish and Phineas?
Yeah. So it's Samantha Souza, produced by
the Samantha Souza on Instagram.
Produced by @AnthonyRobertMusic and Zoe Davis, maybe @ZHO Davis. That's who did the video editing. So yeah, it's so funny. The lyrics are: I'm looking for a man at Disney, Magic Key, Club 33. I'm looking for a man at Disney, maybe he has DVC. I love it. That's so funny. Anyway, okay, so go give her some love, please. It's such a great song. It does us Disney adults some justice. All right. What else? Oh, Run Disney. So registration dates have been announced. The registration for 2025 for the Disneyland Half Marathon weekend was originally set for June 18th, but it was paused. I didn't even realize this. It was paused due to technical issues.
Shocking.
So, yeah, weird. Sorry, I'm stepping on something I couldn't figure out what it was. But yeah, so they've announced that the registration will now commence on Tuesday, July 2nd at 10 a.m. Eastern, so 7 a.m. Pacific time. The Disneyland Half Marathon weekend will... Why would they put that in Eastern time for Disneyland?
Because a lot of the Run Disney people come in from the East Coast.
That makes sense.
Because they have a lot more Run Disney events out there. It's a lot bigger than it is out here.
You're right. That's true. So the Disneyland Half Marathon weekend will take place from January 30th to February 2nd, 2025 at Disneyland. The event invites guests of all ages to participate in a variety of races and activities suitable for all skill levels. Participants can enjoy running through the Disneyland Resort and Anaheim area in themed races such as Heroic 5K, Star Wars 10K, Mickey Mouse and Friends Half Marathon, and Dumbo Challenge. Additional activities include kids races and in-park yoga sessions.
And I'm not going to let you sit here and lie to our fans again and tell them that we are going to do a Run Disney event when you and I both know that your knees are not built for Run Disney.
I'm very fit.
I didn't say you weren't fit.
I'm not fit.
I said your knees.
No, I don't. I can't. I know. What if
Babe,
I trained?
Think about Raging Waters.
Oh man, we went to Raging Waters and it was rough.
We woke up the next day and literally, when each of us, even the girl, like the kids, because we took Kenzie and her best friend Olivia, aka our bonus child.
Yeah.
Even they, when they got out of bed, like all of us collectively were like, ah, it was a rough day because it's not just hills, it's hills with sandals or hills with like slides, and you're trying to like, you got your grippers and you're trying to hold on for dear life, and it's hard work. And then if like your feet are wet and they're just it's rough. It's a rough day.
All right, last on the list for entertainment is events is going to be. This isn't Disney parks related, but it's Disney themed. The Santa Monica Playhouse. So if you're a Southern California person, Santa Monica Playhouse is set to present the musical Ink and Paint, a musical for the heart of Disney, on July 4th. This production celebrates the untold stories of the women who worked in Disney's ink and paint department, highlighting their crucial contributions to the animation industry. The play combines historical insights with original songs to create an engaging narrative that honors these pioneering women. The performance aims to shed light on the challenges and triumphs of these artists, showcasing their impact on classic Disney films. The show is part of Santa Monica Playhouse's commitment to presenting productions that combine entertainment with meaningful storytelling. The tickets are $25, which is cheap. Mm-hmm. And they can be purchased at santamonicaplayhouse.com.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, we should maybe think about it.
Yeah, I'm going to look into it when we're done.
All right, well, in Disney Plus and movie news, The Acolyte got wild this week. The Acolyte got so crazy this week.
It was too much. This is a show.
It got dark, yo.
This is a show that I usually double screen. Like I'm into it, but like I'm doing other things. Like I was trying to like put my notes together while we were watching it. There was too much happening. I couldn't do my notes at the same time.
So last week was basically their mid-season finale, basically.
And it was lame.
Well, no.
I didn't like it.
Hang on. It wasn't lame. Stop it. Don't be that person.
Lame.
It was basically their mid-season finale because it was the mid-season. It was the 4th episode of 8. The episode itself, it was problematic. I was angry about it because of one of the, I don't know. I have to talk to somebody I know at Star Wars. I gotta message him and just be like, what was up with that? Because the Kiadi Mundi thing is crazy, and it's causing a lot of chaos in the Star Wars culture. People are getting death threats about this show. It's wild.
Grow up.
Hang on, let me say this. If you're a Star Wars fan and you're a bigot, a racist, a sexist, a homophobe, any kind of ist, you're not a Star Wars fan because it's never been about that. And if you're hating on somebody because of their race, gender, sexual orientation, anything, you're a disgusting human being. Sending death threats to a person because they acted in a Star Wars production? Sickening.
So weird.
Anyway, they ended last week's episode on such a crazy high energy cliffhanger, but then they picked it right back up on this episode with just like the most epic intro to the show. It was awesome.
That was the thing, is like the episode in its entirety last week, like up until the last 30 seconds, I was like, I'm bored. Like, come on. And then like the last 30 seconds, it was like, it's over.
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying like that was like, it was lame up until then. But then like that 30 seconds plus this week's episode, I was like, what is happening? What happened to my double screen abilities? Because I can't look away from the TV.
There was still a part in this week's episode that I was like, okay.
Why though?
Okay. But the episode itself was like epic. And I'm not going to give away any spoilers except for this. And it's not a spoiler. I'm just going to say one word. Lightsabers. That's all. That's all I'm going to say. The Acolyte got
farewell.
Wild. Ta-da. Toodaloo. All right. What else? Oh, in the debut episode of the official Marvel podcast, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige unveiled exciting insights about the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He announced that the upcoming Fantastic Four movie will be set in the 1960s, which people were speculating, presenting it as a period piece with an alternate universe in the multiverse, distinct from the main MCU timeline.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty cool. He also confirmed the development of a Wonder Man series for Disney Plus, describing it as extremely extremely different than anything we've done before.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but I'm excited to see what it does mean, because Marvel is historically just epic movies, epic TV series. They do a good job. So we'll see what happens there. There's a new trailer that came out, and I just saw this today, and I put this in here because it seems like a pretty interesting series. There's an upcoming series called Rivals by Dame Jilly Cooper. It's set in 1986, and it involves two men and their intense rivalry in the world of independent television. The show stars David Tennant, Aidan Turner, Katherine Parkinson, and more, promising a soapy and entertaining experience. It's set to premiere later this year on Hulu in the U.S. and Disney Plus in other countries. It's called Rivals.
I gotta watch the trailer.
Yeah, it looks really good. And David Tennant, anything
I like David
he's
Tennant.
in, I mean, which I'm going to be a poser.
Oh.
I kind of want to watch Doctor Who now.
Like, go back and...
I don't know if I want to go all the way back.
But, like, his season?
I need advice from everybody. So if
we should also ask your sister. She'll be very offended if we don't consult her with Doctor Who.
But I'm going to ask our audience, if you're a Doctor Who fan, where should we start? Should we go all the way back, or should we start with like the David Tennant series? I'm interested because I've seen the trailers for the new stuff on Disney Plus, and it looks really good.
Mm-hmm. I haven't watched like entire seasons, but I've watched bits and pieces of multiple seasons of Doctor Who.
Same. I think I've seen probably 10 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because like I've seen like the Weeping Angels.
They're so scary.
Creepy. There was another one with some kind of robot a murder robot or something. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm interested to see where we should start. So let us know at Magic on Main Street Official on Instagram. Okay. Disney has announced that the new animated series Primos will debut on Disney Channel on July 8th, with all episodes available for streaming the next day on Disney Plus. Created by Natasha Klein, Primos is inspired by Klein's own childhood experiences. The series follows Tater, an eccentric 10-year-old girl, as her 12 cousins, the Primos, move in for the summer, turning her ordinary life into an extraordinary adventure. The show promises to deliver heartwarming and humorous stories that celebrate family and culture with a unique animation style that brings the vibrant world of Tater and her cousins to life. Fans can look forward to a mix of everyday challenges and magical realism, reflecting the dynamic and diverse experiences of the Latino community. That's pretty cool.
That's really funny. It's funny that like this is all being talked about right now because I was literally having a conversation with Nancy earlier today. Because all of the cousins were at Magic Mountain.
Yeah.
And there was a picture sent of all of them together, but there was somebody in the picture that we were both like, wait, who is that? Like, these are our kids, but who is that? And she had, like, one of us had said something about, like, is this another cousin that we, like, didn't know about or something? And then I had told her, I was like, well, you don't know this because you're Guatemalan, not Mexican, but us Mexicans, everybody's a primo or a prima. So, so it's just funny that there's now a show coming out when I was literally just having like this conversation today.
That's hilarious. All right. Well, that was events and entertainment. Up next, it's our last trip.
I know we'll be back again soon. I'm already daydreaming in my room. Sometimes to enjoy today, just start thinking of yesterday. Our last trip. Our last trip. I can't stop thinking about the time we shared on our last trip.
So we had, we didn't rope drop. But we got as close to it as we could as the family that we are. We got into the parks maybe 10 o'clock?
No, we were walking into Disneyland at 9:30.
Was it that early?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, look at us go. So we got there as early as we could have. We had a sick cat, and we have the dog, and we also are just not morning people. So, but Tabitha was up and ready, and she's like, I'm ready to go. And I was like, well, I better get ready. So we got there a lot earlier than we normally do. But we had some really great experiences while we were there. It started off with us going and meeting up with Amy, who had already been there. She got me a breakfast chimichanga, and she was going to meet us at Red Rose Tavern, where Tabitha and Kenzie were going to grab their breakfast. But on the way to Red Rose Tavern in Fantasyland, we had noticed that Mary Poppins and Bert. So it was Mary Poppins and Bert with the Pearly Band. And that's the band that dresses in like the colorful striped outfits. Like it's, I don't know, like a brass band, I guess. Mm-hmm. So they were out in front of the carousel, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. So we went over and I was going to grab some video, and then Mary walked into the carousel to get on. So she's standing there in front of Jingles, and if you don't know who Jingles is, it's the very bell-adorned horse on the carousel that everybody races to. She stood in front of it, and I was
Walt's favorite.
It is Walt's favorite. She stood in front of it. I was like, she's going to get on that horse. So we started getting video. So
Well, first, I have to tell the version of me and Kenzie had gone like a separate way from you. So Sean started going to the right of the carousel, as you're walking into Fantasyland from the castle, and Kenzie and I kind of like got stuck in a crowd, And so we had to go to the left of the carousel. And as we were going to the left, I saw her going in the exit. And I looked at Kenzie and I was like, she's getting on Jingles. She's getting on Jingles. And she was like, what? And I was like, Mary Poppins is going to get on Jingles right now. And she was like, no, she's not. And I was like, I swear she is. And we literally like sped walked as fast as we could all the way around right as she like was seated perfectly on Jingles. And I was like, ah.
So I got video and some pictures of her getting on the carousel horse, but Tabitha got this amazing picture.
It's so pretty, and
Mary.
I haven't posted it yet because I'm like,
it's going up now.
I need to like preserve this most beautiful thing.
It's probably the prettiest picture that any of us have taken in this family. It's gorgeous. It was taken at like the perfect time. It's so beautiful. I got some pictures of Bert, who was very sillily trying to get onto his horse, had a little routine going, and then they rode the carousel. It was the most magical moment to start the day, so that was really cool. We went over to Red Rose Tavern. Tabitha and Kenzie got some breakfast there. Amy was waiting for me with a breakfast chimichanga, which I have not enjoyed yet because we don't go in the mornings. Let me tell you, it's worth it. If you get a chance to go into the park, grab a chimichanga. If they still have them, they sell out quick. If you're able to grab one, get one because it was amazing. I wasn't a huge fan of the green salsa that comes with it, though. Amy loves it. I wasn't a fan because it was more tangy than spicy, and I like spicy. It was still good, but it wasn't like my favorite. I prefer the red La Victoria salsa. So how was your breakfast?
It was super good. We got, me and Kenzie both got it was a chiffon pancake. And we both got it with bacon. And then I got us a side of, potato barrels to share. But the pancake came with this like strawberry guava puree. I had to stop myself from just
really
like drinking
good.
the cup. It was super like fresh tasting. Like it was really, really good.
Yeah, it was tasty. I liked that.
Yeah, which is crazy because you don't like guava.
No, but it
was very
like strawberry
forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was almost like I was dipping my pancake in a smoothie. It was so good. I loved it. Like I would make sure I was up for breakfast to go back and get that.
Good stuff. Well, the next time we go for breakfast, so we've decided.
Well, and they also have a vanilla caramel cinnamon cold brew, which was really good.
Oh, okay, right. We've decided that we're going to split our days from now on. So we're going to try to go, 1 week we'll go in the morning, 1 week we'll go for our nighttime, and just kind of split up our routine because we've gotten so into this routine of going in the late afternoon, staying till closing. And we're missing out on so many cool things like this Mary Poppins encounter. Like we wouldn't experience that at night. The couple weeks ago we had talked about we saw the Disneyland band perform in front of the castle. You don't see that at night. So there's definitely things that I want to see. Taking the horse-drawn carriage around. You don't get that in the afternoons. So we're going to split up our time.
Which they have still been going away very early because it's been getting so hot.
Well, I got there yesterday at about 1 o'clock and they were just putting the horses away.
Yeah,
it was hot.
It's too hot for them to be out lugging our fat butts around.
Yeah. So, you calling me fat? Anyway, so
they carry like 15 people.
I know. So we're gonna split up our days so that we can experience some more of the daytime stuff. We got into this routine, and it was like we're park closers, but you know what? I really enjoy the magic of daytime also. So we'll do both.
I just hate that we decided that we were going to be daytime people when it's the hottest.
Right. Exactly.
Not the smartest idea that we've had, but we're doing it.
So we left Red Rose Tavern and we headed over to Toontown. We were going to visit Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. They actually went down, so we just kind of walked around a little bit, took some pictures of the fountain, which is gorgeous as always. I love watching kids get splashed and stuff. It's really fun. But you know what? Something that I know it happens, but I was reminded of the other day during the day how many strollers there are.
Yeah.
Every empty area of the park that you see in the evening, during the day, it's filled with strollers. It's just crazy how many strollers are there. And Kenzie had pointed out these wagons are getting out of control.
Yeah, they're huge.
They're assault vehicles.
They are pack and plays on wheels.
Yeah.
It's wild.
But it's the same as it's the same as what we were talking about with the DOS Pass. How it was being abused. Now the wagons are getting abused really heavily because all you have to say, I'm not going to say what you have to say. You have, if you don't have a child with some sort of specific disability, you have to lie. And I have a feeling a lot of people lie. And that sucks because those things are a nuisance.
Yeah.
They are huge. I got clipped by one yesterday. That's why.
Did it take you out?
That's why No, it cut my heel.
That's why I said, did it take you
Yeah,
out?
it hurt really bad.
Just ripped your Achilles in two.
And I turned around and I looked at the, you know the look, like it was one of these. And she like looked at me as if I was in the wrong.
You should have said, I'm walking here.
I didn't say anything, but then she gave me a sorry. And I was like, I didn't do anything. Like I got hit. Anyway, yeah. If you don't need one for a child with a disability, don't take one and lie. Just, live like a normal human being and take a regular stroller. Or don't take anything at all. Make your kid walk. I didn't let Kenzie sit in a stroller. I was a terrible father. I made her walk. I did. Not everybody can. I understand that. But I made Kenzie walk because I wanted her to be conditioned to the parks.
Conditioned to the parks. You ended up carrying her out most nights because she was dead on her feet.
That is not true. I can count on my one hand the times that I've done that.
No.
Yeah.
She would either end up in your arms or on my back, and she'd be sleeping.
No. It only happened a few times. It didn't happen that often. Anyway. There is, we're going to put this up. I was really thrilled with this sign.
Oh, yeah.
That I've never seen before. It's so crazy how you can go to Disneyland as much as we go and still see things that you've never seen before. So we were walking through Toontown and we were walking towards like, we were going to Goofy's house, right? Well, we're walking and Amy and I are kind of like side by, Amy was with us. Obviously she got us a chimichanga. We were walking kind of side by side and we walked by and I noticed this sign, and it's a cute little sign that has a silhouette of Jiminy Cricket, and below it says shoulder work ahead. Shoulder work on the road means they're working on the side of the road. But it clicked of what it meant, and I was like, that is so clever. And I can't believe I've never seen this sign before. But it was so funny because Amy and I both literally at the exact same moment realized what the sign said. And we neither of us had seen it before, and we both stopped dead in our tracks and went, "Wait a minute!" and walked back and was like, "That is so cool." That was a really cool experience.
Somebody, she's like, "That little Jiminy P. Crick."
Yeah, Kylie, when she was a little girl, I guess used to call Jiminy Cricket Jiminy P. Crick.
So now we all
call him that. But yeah, it was such a clever sign, and it's so fun to see things that you've just never seen before when you're there. Literally every week. So yeah, that was really cool. So next time you're in Toontown, take a look at this sign. It's right in front of like Goofy's house. But speaking of Goofy's house, we went inside and I avoid that place like the plague because it's a
real loud room.
So busy because there's a lot of like noisy activities that kids can do. And my senses can't handle that. I get really overwhelmed. But I decided to walk in and kind of see what it was about. And I was really kind of impressed with all of the different pictures they have of like Max and Goofy when they were younger. And I think you had pointed out that there was a picture of Goofy and Max when they were young, and it looks like Goofy was like a teen dad. It's so funny.
It's such a cute picture.
Dad.
I took a picture of it.
Yeah, I've got pictures of all of them, so we'll put them up on our Instagram, but here they are on the screen if you're watching. Really, really cute pictures. So yeah, take a walk in there. It's a fun little room. But then on the way out, we saw Pete was leaving. So I kind of followed him, got a little bit of video of him. It was cool to see Pete in person. Pete, I'm wearing Pete. I hadn't seen him before. But again, that's a daytime thing. What else?
We went over and we rode Matterhorn, and Kenzie realized that she might be getting a little old for that too, because she was like, that was a little rough.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, we got an early morning chiropractic appointment in, and oh man, that ride is so rough. So rough. And Amy, it was so funny because Amy was like, are you going to try and get the video so we can see the Pixar or the Toy Story truck, the Pizza Planet truck? And I was like, no, I'm not doing that because I'll break my neck if I try to turn on that ride. We were all laughing about it.
And then we went to the DVC lounge to cool off and to hydrate.
Yeah.
Amy hadn't gone with us yet, which is so weird because Amy goes with us everywhere.
Yeah, but again, we don't go during the day.
Yeah, that's true. And the lounge closes at 6.
They close at 6.
So we went there, got some snacks, got drinks, and then decided to start heading over to DCA.
Yeah.
And we browsed through Emporium before we left.
And they have a lot of T-shirts for the summer and some really cool ones. Here's some. We'll get those on our Instagram for Merch Monday. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we're doing Merch Mondays now.
Yeah.
Merch Monday, Walt Wednesday, Hidden Mickey Tuesdays, I think we're doing. Yeah, so we're doing some like themed days on our Instagram, so check it out. Yeah, so a lot of summer T-shirts, which is nice because they're actually pretty good designs. I'm pretty critical of their designs typically, and these ones are actually pretty nice. So check those out. Yeah, we headed over to DCA, and we took a spot at everybody calls it Starbucks, right? I'm going to tell a story now. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So everybody calls it Starbucks because that's what's in there, but the name of the cafe is Fiddler, Pfeiffer, and Practical. Not a lot of people know that. But if you look around, it's on the windows. There's a sign. And then inside, there's all kinds of pictures of these 3 women. And I never really noticed how much they were on the walls in these pictures until this last trip. I've seen them, but I didn't realize that it was the same 3 women in all of the pictures. And then I noticed that there was a sign that said the Silver Lake Sisters. And I was like, what does this mean? So here's a little bit of a story for you. All over the cafe walls, you'll see memorabilia from the Silver Lake Sisters' heyday, from black and white publicity photos to posters of venues they've played, including the Hollywood Tower Hotel Ballroom. You'll also notice a musical theme throughout, including booths inlaid with stained glass featuring instrument motifs. So the background is, the Silver Lake Sisters were a 1920s performing trio of sisters. In addition to singing, the sisters each played an instrument: Dolly on violin, Dottie on flute, and Ethel on piano, drawing a comparison between them and the 3 Little Pigs as portrayed in the 1933 cartoon short of the same name. This resulted in the sisters developing the nicknames of Fiddler, Pfeiffer, and Practical, named after the pigs from the cartoon. The sisters spent a good part of their lives performing the vaudeville circuit, entertaining the troops in World War I, and becoming minor celebrities in nightclubs along the then-emerging Sunset Strip in Hollywood. Amongst the locations which they performed at were the Tip Top Club of the Hollywood Tower Hotel and the South Seas Club. Ethel, or Practical, had always handled the trio's business affairs and was constantly urging her sisters to settle down and open a legitimate business. Thus, after 20 years of performance, they decided to open a coffee shop called the Fiddler, Pfeiffer, and Practical Cafe on Buena Vista Street in Los Angeles. It's unknown how or when the sisters died, but at some point, circa 1994, the sisters were seen once more in the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Strangely enough, the sisters were still in their prime and believed it to still be the 1930s. It is possible, based off of that the sisters were present at the hotel on the Halloween of 1939, when the hotel was merged with the Fifth Dimension and became merged with the paranormal activity of the tower.
Spooky.
Isn't that a cool story?
I love it.
So, if you ever are in the parks and wonder why Starbucks has a Fiddler, Pfeiffer, and Practical sign on it, now you know. Pretty
Super cool.
We'll be right back with our main topic. We're going to be talking about something that's not Disney related, but just as fun. All right, so this past weekend, we went to Raging Waters because we were trying to figure out things that we could do outside of Disneyland. We go a lot. We go once a week. A lot of it is for like content gathering for the show. And I wouldn't say that we're getting burnt out on Disneyland, but I could definitely feel that we could if we continue to just go and do that and
Preventative
nothing
measures.
else. So yeah, it was preventative medicine. So we went to Raging Waters, but a week before that, we were invited to, and we mentioned this last week, we were invited to Cirque du Soleil Kooza, which is playing at the old Laguna Hills Mall in Laguna Hills. We were invited for a media day. We went. We had a great time. The show was amazing, literally awe-inspiring. The acts were phenomenal. The athleticism was great. The clowning was amazing. And I just couldn't wait to see it again. So I talked to the PR guy that had invited us the first time, and I was like, hey, we want to promote this on the show. We're kind of thinking about doing a topic about things to do outside of Disneyland. I think this would fit in nicely. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, that's great. And I was like, I actually want to come and see it again with my daughter, so we're going to get tickets. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. And I was like, that's amazing. So he set us up with another set of tickets. So Tabitha Kenzie and I went on this past Friday, and we saw the show for the second time, and it's just as amazing the second time around as it was the first time. It's such a brilliant show, and it's been running for quite a long time. I had no idea. But we had talked to the PR gentleman. His name's Tim, really nice dude. He was like, I would love to have you sit down with one of our performers. And I was like, absolutely. Yes. He's like, you think it would tie in with your show? I said, yes, let's do it. So we had the chance to meet with one of the clowns from Cirque du Soleil Kooza. And if you can't tell, I'm a big fan of the show. So meeting one of the clowns was actually such an honor and such a delight. So this is what we did. And now we're going to show you. So give us a moment, and you're going to be whisked away to a magical world of Kooza. Welcome to the world of Kooza by Cirque du Soleil. Dive into a mesmerizing journey with Kooza, the 20th creation by Cirque du Soleil, which has captivated nearly 8 million spectators since its debut in April 2007. Touring over 65 cities in 22 countries across 4 continents, Kooza follows the adventures of the Innocent, a charming and naive clown on a quest for self-discovery. Guided by a mysterious trickster, the Innocent is transported to an exotic and whimsical kingdom where strength meets fragility and laughter intertwines with chills. Prepare yourself for an adrenaline-packed spectacle filled with daring acrobatics and slapstick humor, echoing the nostalgic essence of traditional circuses. The name Kooza, derived from the Sanskrit word koza, meaning box or treasure, encapsulates the show's essence, a circus in a box, celebrating the physical prowess of human performance in a vibrant, humorous ensemble. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Duncan Cameron, an extraordinary performer and theatre maker from Ottawa, Canada. Currently residing in Liverpool, UK, Duncan's journey into the world of clowning and theatre began with his success in the Canadian Improv Games, which led him to study at the renowned École Philippe Gaulier in Paris. With a family history steeped in clowning, Duncan's older brother Jesse is also a professional clown. Duncan has performed globally and founded his own theater company. Now he brings his unique talents to Cirque du Soleil's Kooza, marking his first tour with the legendary circus. Besides his impressive clowning skills, Duncan is a multi-instrumentalist with a passion for Mexican wrestling. Welcome, Duncan. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, nice to meet you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny when I was reading your bio that you have a passion for Mexican wrestling. Where'd that come from?
Honestly, I think it's my tie to also theater as well. I think like it's just such a theatrical like sport in a way. You know, like everything's about good guys, bad guys. Everybody's it's so theatrical. People are wearing masks. They have
right.
Interesting characters. I love it. I have about 24 Mexican wrestling masks on tour with me, and
that's amazing. That is so funny. So we actually have had the opportunity to see Kooza twice. We were invited to a media day, and we were really kind of dumbfounded that we would be invited because, you know, we're a Disney podcast. So, you know, it didn't really line up with what we do. But when you think about it, there's so much theater between the two. And I feel like there's such a tie between circus and entertainment and Disney. And so I was very thrilled to be there because I've actually seen, I think now 5 productions by Cirque du Soleil. My first was Mystère in Las Vegas at the Treasure Island. And I've seen that show about a dozen times now. And it is just one of the most amazing shows that I've ever seen. But after seeing Kooza twice, it actually topped the list. And I'm just
I think that the Kooza is a really special show in that regard because it has, I mean, it what they say or how it was created was that it's an homage to traditional circus, right? So it's got a lot of like kind of more traditional values, a traditional way of performing circus, mixed with Cirque du Soleil's sort of contemporary circus flair, right? So Mystère was really created in a contemporary circus way, a lot more theatrical, a lot more aesthetic, and story driven in a way. But Kooza's got a little bit of everything. So I really enjoy being on this show. I think it's a really lovely show to be in.
Yeah.
And see the audience is it's just so exciting for them to be in the audience, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
You would be surrounded by that when you're sitting in the audience.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even count the times when I'm sitting next to Tab, I'm squeezing her leg, or literally out loud saying, "Wow!" Like I was just literally the word "amazed" came to mind because I was truly amazed at what was happening from the first. I mean, even from your skits up front to the ending bell, like everything was so just awe-inspiring. It's such an amazing show, and I'm so happy that you're here that we can talk about it. Let our audience know, like, hey, you got to go see this before August, and if you can't, make sure you see it when they come back to Santa Monica.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my mom has seen the show so many times now, and every time she's like, I can't look at this thing. It's just it's too much. It's like you know this act, you know this how it is. But yeah, she gets. It's quite a lot. It's a big show. It's a lot of energy, and yeah, it's one of those things that very few shows are able to carry you all the way through without you sort of it's like one yawn, maybe two every so often. But this show, I feel like it's just got people like locked in the stage.
Oh, absolutely. It's just nonstop. I mean, even during the pre-show and just before you come back from intermission with you and the other two clowns keeping us going, and it's just, it's nonstop action from start to finish. So I wanted to talk a little bit about your past. And so I had mentioned in the intro that you'd studied at École Philippe Gaulier, and I think I'm saying that right.
I mean, for me, you're saying it perfectly. If you were speaking to him, it would never be right.
So for those not in the clown world, this is probably the most prestigious clown school, and it's located in Paris, correct?
That's it. Yeah. I mean, he's a little bit outside of Paris, but I mean,
okay.
We'll say it's in Paris. But yeah, he's a legendary clown teacher. He's one of those few masters of the craft that are still going from this sort of resurgence of clowning back in the 80s. So I've been so lucky to be able to go and train with him in the past. And I've trained with a whole bunch of other clowns as well, but that was predominantly my main training. And he is the epitome of any sort of French clown teacher that you would ever think of from Hollywood. He wears the beret, the small round glasses, and he just tells you that you are terrible. Everything is terrible. And you can't do anything about that. So that was my training. I was just told I was terrible the whole time.
That's amazing.
So now I'm here trying to prove him wrong.
Was that your first experience with clowning, or did you have something training before that?
I mean, like, I've always been around the sort of circus clowning world, mostly because of my brother. My brother, as you mentioned earlier, like he's 12 years older than me.
Okay.
So when I was 7 and 8, he was already doing professional shows. He was making alternative clown shows. By the time I was graduating high school, he was already in Cirque du Soleil in Alegria, and he was touring around with them. So he'd already been to Gaulier. He'd already done. Basically, he kind of carved the whole path of my career. Did the improv game, and then went to Gaulier, and then did Cirque. So I've sort of done all of those stepping stones as well. And I had the opportunity to work with my brother recently. He was one of the other clowns in the previous city, actually. So it was really recent. I was performing with him on stage. Very cool.
How was that as an experience together?
It was amazing. Honestly, it was like one of those full circle sort of, my whole life, my whole career has been sort of like ramping up to this moment. And it's funny talking about Gaulier, my teacher. We both studied with him. And when Gaulier found out that he was my brother, he weaponized it against me, and he would tell me that you are not as funny as your brother.
Amazing.
It's not genetic.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was nice to finally perform with him and kind of put those weird, things in the back of my head to rest.
Yeah, that's amazing. What a cool experience to be able to work with your brother, who was such an influence in the world of clowning. So what's he up to now?
He does a lot of his own sort of. He has his own sort of clowning that he does on the side as well. Like right now, he's back home supporting his family. That's the balance that a lot of artists have to do. They have to go back and sort of make money. Not that he wasn't doing that here, but a lot of artists have that sort of cycle of, okay, I'm going to move on. What's next? What's the next project? That's the thing. So a lot of us start thinking, okay, what's next for my career? What do I want to do? What do I want to create? We all love working for Cirque du Soleil, but every so often, like, okay, let's put on some new clown shows.
Right.
That's
so cool. So this is your first experience with performing with Cirque du Soleil. What were you doing before that?
So I have my own theater company back in England, and I create with it's kind of like a collective community of people that all went to Gaulier. And so it's sort of like a setup of a funny joke in a way. We've got an Italian, a Japanese, Canadian, a Spanish, and a Scouser, which is what you call people from Liverpool.
Okay.
So we all congregated in Liverpool, and we make very strange alternative clown shows there. So so I've been doing a lot of that. I've worked on other because we all freelance. We come in and out. I do a lot of I dress up like parrots or zebras, and I'm dancing around in zoos. I do street theater. I do cabaret. I like to try to keep my experience as varied as possible.
Right.
And I think that it really helps for gigs like this when display, because it really requires a lot of different skill sets. So
right. Yeah, there's a lot of the jokes are one thing, but there's so much physical comedy that you're doing in the show. I mean, Tabitha and I were talking about how there was a segment where there's like a lot of vocal sound effects, and it seemed like it was a lot coming from you. Like what's that process like?
That's funny. It's like, a lot of clowning schools or clowning training doesn't necessarily train you to do sound effects necessarily.
Right.
So sometimes some people just do that for fun. I always just did it for fun, and now it's actually like an inherent skill of something that I have to do as part of my job.
Right.
Is this cat sound funny, or is this cat sound funny? Like what? So it's like we're always trying to play around with the musicality of the act, and I think I'm deviating a little bit from your question, but yeah, it's been interesting sort of trying to fit all of those different kind of skills, because I do have mime training in my background.
Sure.
I do have a lot of clowning, a lot of audience participation, and being able to work crowds and things like that.
Yeah.
And all of those things, if you're missing one of those sort of building blocks, and sort of you're constantly trying to learn it on the job. Quite a experience to try to do that.
That's got to be how your love of wrestling kind of comes in, because you have to know how to work a crowd if you're a wrestler.
That is exactly it. I mean, for me, I'm going to speak. I don't want to offend any wrestling fans, but I would say circus and wrestling, they're so similar.
Absolutely.
It's acrobatics, especially the Mexican wrestling, which is what I'm really into. They're so acrobatic. There's a lot of high flying. There's a lot of flippy flips and all sorts of cool stuff. And there's always a really simple storyline, which is usually good versus bad sort of thing. And it's similar to what we don't really have evil characters in this show, but we do have a through line of sort of innocence prevailing, learning. So for me, circus and theater and wrestling, they're all hand to hand.
I agree. We're big wrestling fans, and I 100% agree. Yeah, we're watching WWE twice a week, and I've seen a lot of lucha libre matches. I wrestled in one match in my lifetime, which was actually quite fun.
That is so cool.
Yeah, my brother-in-law was a wrestler in a small indie circuit, and we actually went to a lucha libre event it was at a swap meet, and he's like, "You want to wrestle me?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." So we did a 2-minute match. It was the hardest physical thing I've ever done in my life. I couldn't walk for a week after a 2-minute match. It was crazy.
I did a very strange gig once where I was hired by a circus company called the Invisible Circus. They're based out of Bristol in England. And they hired me, and we went to Luxembourg in Europe. And I it was all basically a cage wrestling sort of thing. But I mean, we were supposed to wrestle, and I was dressed as a peacock, and I had to wrestle a gorilla, and then later I had to wrestle a seal. I mean, everybody is people dressed as in these costumes.
Right,
So we were wrestling, and it was such a goofy, lovely experience in the hillside of Luxembourg. It was one of my favorite. It was not professional wrestling by any means. It was like hey gorilla, give me a choke slam, and then
Right.
I should have studied how to do that first. I was like, ah!
That is amazing. So, before you were doing all this great stuff before, how was your Cirque du Soleil experience been? When did you start, and what's it been like up until this point?
So I've been on the show for nearly 2 years now, and it's been unbelievable. Honestly, it's been one of those dream come true moments, and I've been working for Cirque for such a long time. I think I first auditioned for them about 8 years ago when I first applied, got a database.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long process, and finally getting here is it's just been so perfect. I've been watching a lot of the other shows, and I can't imagine doing any of the other shows, to be honest. I think that this job, this clown role, aligns so perfectly with what I do and how I am as a performer and everything.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is exactly where I want to be. And yeah, it's definitely one of the funnest jobs that I've had in terms of applying what I do. It's been a challenge. It's a very physical challenge. I'm on the stage running back and forth constantly.
I was gonna say majority of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think I counted it out. I think it's almost about half an hour of stage time where we're just on stage, high octane, probably shouting and screaming and running and
cat noises.
You don't
cat noises.
Cat noises. You know what? The cat noise is one of the hardest moments of the show for me.
I can imagine.
I'm doing this sound effect, and I'm trying to make it look like I'm not doing the sound effect. And I sometimes my head gets a little dizzy, and I'm trying to just make it look like it's super easy, but I can't breathe at that moment. It's such a funny moment to be like, how is this the hardest part of the whole show? Yeah. So yeah, it's been a really interesting and lovely experience for me, and working with some of the most talented people in my life. So I'm learning a lot. I think it's going to be hard to top this after this, to be honest.
Sure.
When I do decide to move on to the next project, it's going to be like, wow, how is that going to feel? It's going to be very difficult.
Right. Speaking of, Cirque and the rigorous processes and, rehearsals and things like that, can you share maybe some behind the scenes life of a Cirque performer?
Yeah, well, I would say, I'll talk about the high wire guys, for example. We have a high wire family, and I find that their work ethic is so inspiring to me. Everybody here is inspiring to me. Everybody's working at the top of their game. They all look like Greek statues, They're all cut. It's just so frustrating. But anyway, so I come to work, and you see the high wire guys. They come in, and they're a family. There's two brothers that they're the original cast members. The oldest guy, he's 63 years old.
No
and
way.
His brother is 57, I believe it is.
Whoa.
Anyway, and they've been doing the show for 17 years. And they come in, and I've never seen them ever with a bad word to say. They always come in with a beautiful energy, and they come in to work. Those guys do a good hour. We have a low wire train in backstage, so they're always running back and forth on the wire. And then they have a set time go into the tent, and they do it up at height. And those guys are just there. They're playing music. They're dancing. They've got some, the Latin flair. They're dancing around. Anyway, but they make everything so super lovely. They're working really hard, and then they're done. They go. They eat. It's amazing. But those guys, they do that every 2 days. Every 2 days, they have to get on the wire, because if they don't train, they start to feel a bit of the danger. They're very high up there, right?
Yeah.
So, that they've just dedicated themselves to this lifestyle, which is I train every 2 days on top of the wire. And if they're not training on the wire, they're training other muscles, other things. They're constantly when they're not training their body, they're training their mind. They always play chess, they're reading, or they're constantly trying to grow. So being around people like this, it constantly makes you feel like, okay, there's always something, to work on.
Right.
And doing it with a beautiful energy as well. It's really inspiring in that sense. And I'm speaking just for the high wire act, but I mean, the handstand artists, the aerialists, they're all the same. I find, like, come in and everybody's there to work.
Yeah, I would imagine it's like that for all of them, or similar at least, because you're talking about the high wire act, which is the most insane balance I've ever seen in my life. I mean, there's props that come into play. I'm not going to give away the show, but there's props that come into play. There's a bicycle at some point. Like it's crazy. And the amount of practice, and that's the first thing I thought when intermission came around. I was like, the amount of practice these guys must be doing every day, or whatever, it must be just completely intense. And so when you add on top of that, that's just the one act. There's a guy who does a unicycle and he's holding somebody on top of his head. There's these aerialists that are flying 50 feet above the air. Like, it's crazy to see like these acts and imagine like what their schedule and training must look like.
That's it. It is impressive. And, the aerialist is holding on with just her hand. She doesn't even have a hook or anything. Just holding on her sheer might of her one hand. You're like, wow, how is it? I mean, I've tried to hold on to some of these, like the tissue act, for example. I've tried holding on to it myself just for 30 seconds, and your grip strength starts to shake and everything. It's like, so yeah, these people are superhuman, and it's incredible to be around. And
and that's
the other thing, is that they make it look so easy. They're sometimes you're looking at them and going, wow, where's the trick? Like, well, the trick is that they're not. There's
exactly.
There's not. Anyway, it's incredible.
Yeah, and the first time we saw the show, we were in the second row, which everything is happening like right here, and seeing the.
I had a neck ache by the time we were done. I was like, "Jeez."
But seeing, like, for instance, the aerialist, and she's so high up in the air, and spinning as fast as I can imagine, and then doing these crazy rolls, with no hands. It's just, I almost had a heart attack about 50 times during that show. And
Sean feared for her life.
Yeah, I was scared. I was like, please don't fall. Please don't do this. But it was such an amazing thing to see. And like I said before, like, it's just an awe-inspiring thing. But getting back to you guys, you and your fellow clowns have a really cool pre-show before the show starts, and then also before intermission. But then you're also intertwined into the story as separate characters almost. But it's amazing to see how you engage the audience before the show, and it seems to kind of get ready for showtime, get people to see something going on stage, calm down a little bit, sit down in their seats. How much of this is like scripted versus improvised?
There's pockets with a lot of clown work. Generally we have cues that we have to hit, because we have sound and light, we have follow spot. They're all trying to keep up with us and things like that. So we are dictated a little bit about by the moments we have to hit, but then there's pockets of improv where we have freedom to go out and play. And I think that's inherently, it's so important to keep our performance alive, is that we're performing with the audience. It's like, I'm trying to come out, and I have a few games that I want to play. I try to find some people. Some people don't want me to play with them, so it's fine. I just got to find a way around them, and make sure that I'm not making people uncomfortable. So it is a conversation that we're trying to play, but we're also trying to wake people up and go. Especially with a cell phone culture where everybody's here.
Yes,
it's trying to wake them up and go, oh, we're here. Like, they are, like, I'm right in front of them. So that's, especially in this show, that is really inherently what we're trying to do, is wake people up and really, like, go, you're in a communal space. We're here to play with you, and this show is for you, and you are here with these other people. What I really like to do as well is I like to try just a little bit to try to make people talk to each other. If I'm just in passing and I can take somebody's bag and I hand it to somebody else, I mean, I'm not stealing it or anything, I'm just moving it so that now I have an interaction. Then somebody has to go, oh, sorry about that, or whatever. Or I'll steal somebody else's phone and I'll take a photo of somebody else. or I'll take some photos, or I'll do something goofy with it and I hand it back. But now those people are maybe going to talk to each other and be like, oh, like I can send this photo to you, and then they start talking, and then they start sending each other messages, and I love trying to start games between audience members.
I love that. That is so cool. So there are a couple portions though where you have audience members on the stage. So I think my first question is, how do you, like, in the heat of everything that's going on? Because at one point it's just pure chaos during your pre-show, and I'm just like, where do we look and what do we see? Like, seeing everything is impossible because there's so much going on. How do you, like, pick the right person to come up on stage with you?
So it's funny that because we are intentionally, it's a very controlled chaos that we have, but the idea is that there's chaos, and we don't necessarily want it to feel like, oh, I'm just here to watch a show. It's like, what? Yeah, all of this stuff. But through all of that chaos, we are studying the audience, and we're studying our potential audience participants. Victim. So every time that I'm on the stage before our first act, I'm trying something. I'm testing somebody. I'm seeing if they're an open person, if they don't want to be played with. So we're testing the waters, and we're seeing who it could be. And so, I have my pre-show where I go and do that. We have 10 minutes to play with people and see how they react. Then I come out a little bit later, and I have a big ball, and I see how people might react to a ball. Right. And then, but the whole time, all three of us are keeping an eye on the audience. And then by the time we're actually hitting our first act, where our volunteer might come up, we're usually quite ready. Who we're going to pick, who we're going to play with. We want to make sure that we're not making people angry or super uncomfortable. I mean, obviously there's always going to be a little bit of discomfort if somebody's pulled up on the stage. Somebody might be like, me? No, please no. Come on, So we like a little bit of that too, but it's interesting because we have this person yes, this person no, but we are really trying to find the perfect candidate for that day, for that night.
Okay. So the second time,
experience for every audience.
Right. So the second time we went, you guys picked the perfect audience member for the sword fight scene. And I won't give anything away besides that, but you picked the perfect guy. On the other hand of that, what happens if you get somebody up there that just has no idea what you're trying to get them to do?
If it comes down to it, and they're really, if you can see that the person's uncomfortable, or they just, being on stage can be quite a lot. Mm-hmm. So if somebody looks very overwhelmed, we will playfully suggest that they'll just go back to their seat. We'll take them back. We'll grab somebody else, and it's not a big deal. Like it's absolutely fine, and we don't want to try to humiliate them or anything.
Sure.
But our act is about celebrating people. It's really not about humiliation. So I want to make sure that people understand that. But yeah, there is a point where this isn't going to go anywhere. If the audience are feeling, if we feel that the audience is feeling like they're worried for the person in any way, then we'll find a way out of that and start again.
I love it. That's so cool. But we, like I said, you guys picked the perfect guy, and he had, mimicked you really well and just did like exactly what you wanted him to do. And it was such a great payoff for the whole audience. We were just ecstatic for this guy.
It's perfect. And I've never seen or even been a part of an act where we get such a great response from the audience at the end. Like the end of our act is really, it's electric, and it's so nice to be a part of that, because getting an audience to, I'll say that the clowns, we sort of remove ourselves from the scene so that it's really just about the audience together, trying to cheer this person on, right? So it's a really lovely moment when everybody just starts helping each other out. Yeah. We're not saying anything; it's about them, and leaving it to the audience. I think that's a big part about what audiences want from live performance these days, that they want to see that it's live, and they want to be a part of it somehow. And I think that's, again, what wrestling, circus, a lot of this interactive theater is about these days. Audiences want part of it.
And it shows because, like I said, we've seen it twice. So we've seen the same act 2 times, but it was 2 completely different acts, between the 2 audience members that you picked. So yeah, wonderfully done. So you actually play kind of 2 characters during the show. Can you talk about your roles and how they relate to the show, and then how you relate to the characters?
Right. It's like, so the idea is that in the pre-show, before the show starts, I come out and my character is called the handyman. So I'm out there to fix stuff. So I'm there, I have a little toolbox, and I'm there to fix things or clean things, or, so I'm there. That's my character is there. So that's the idea, is that we're real people in a real world in a real circus. So that's the idea. We have the house manager, the person there who's running the stage, and then we have an annoying audience member who is the third clown.
Yeah.
Noise. Like, I have a lot of money and blah, blah, blah. So he's called the annoying tourist, and then we have the handyman. And then the idea is that once the show starts, we've been sort of changed into these new characters. We've been like magicified.
Mm-hmm.
This new world, which is Kooza, and we become a king and his black servant, right? So
right.
And yeah, it's great. Like, I think that it's very seldom that you see a really strong trio of clowns these days.
Yeah.
Trios aren't super popular these days in terms of clowning, but even like a lot of cartoons have moved away from it too now. It's a lot of duos.
Sure.
But anyway, I'm talking about that's the thing. There used to be a lot more clown trios back in the day. You have Stooges like this, but it's a really clear hierarchy in terms of old school clown logic in a way. You have the king, and then you have maybe the in between. Me, I'm a bit more petulant. I'm kind of a little bit of a jerk and whatever. And then we have the top idiot, and the top idiot is, and I say this in clown terms, top idiot is a term of endearment. It's a good thing. Top idiot. So we have top idiot is usually the bottom of the rung. That he's the one that if we're gonna give a kick to anybody, he's gonna receive the kick.
Right.
So that's it, and we have that sort of clear status that goes down. And yeah, so I play the in between. Is the secretly I think I want the crown. I want to be the king, but he's the play. So I get to beat up a little bit on my top idiot friend.
Right.
If I can't have true power, I'll take what I can get.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's really cool because the chemistry between you guys is like palpable. And so it's really cool to see, like, there's no moments of awkwardness. Like you're the 3 of you are so like in sync with each other. It's like you can just see it. And it was really cool to see that. How much time are you guys spending together to maintain that kind of a relationship?
Honestly, too much. Way too much time. No, it's interestingly enough, like, we've always had a really good connection between the 3 of us, and we've had a few different kings in the past. Like, we've had kind of a rotation of kings. But inherently, when we hire, we're aiming to try to make sure that the family unit is really strong, and that's really, really important for us as a trio of clowns. That us as humans, as our own personal family, has to work. So we always make sure that we get people that we enjoy to be around, we enjoy working with, that we're not gonna. I mean, there's going to be every so often a little bit of like creative differences, but
sure,
we're not. It's always good. It's always resolved very friendly and healthily. So but we do spend a lot of time together. Whenever we put on our makeup sometimes takes us between 45 minutes to an hour and a half, and we are sat next to each other, and we're always talking and goofing around, playing, and so we do spend a lot of time together, and it's great because my counterpart, the other king's lackey, is a 50-year-old Spanish man, so so to have this sort of brotherly connection between him and me is quite a thing, and we have to work on that. We have to make sure that we're listening to each other, that we're here to play, that we're open and receiving each other. So it's great. It's really, I think that's one of the really strong parts about clowning, that you should be able to play with a lot of different people.
Right. So I have a question, just because I know from an experience of mine. I was actually a rodeo clown for a couple years. And I know that, it was really a lot of fun, but something that I took away from it was that like your makeup is very individual to you. How much creativity are you able to put into your own makeup?
So that's an interesting one for this show, for Cirque du Soleil in general. They've gone through this process where they've had designers, everything's been designed down to the smallest detail, and so by the time we get into it, our creative input in terms of how we look is we're supposed to take that on. So that's the image that we take on, and this is a part that is played by many different people over 7 So by the time I've gotten in here, it's a very specific way that they want me to put on my makeup. And I'll say that, like, I paint my eyebrows on, so small details like that. Like, okay, if my eyebrows go on with a slight curve, well, that's a little bit more of a characteristic that I get to take on for that day. But the eyebrows are basically in the same place. I'm not gonna go off the rails on that one.
Right.
Otherwise,
right.
I do have quality control that's looking down on me, going, "What's going on with your eyebrows today?" Oh man! Yeah, I thought my eyebrows would look great on my ear today. Come on, creative liberty.
So on the same kind of note, like Kooza is like, it's got such a unique storyline, and the visual aesthetic is just so cool. How do the costumes and the set design enhance the storyline or the storytelling?
Well, I think the great thing about Cirque again is like that they this was again 17 years ago when the show was first created, and I was lucky enough to be able to see some of their original designs. I like to understand the shows that I'm going in, so I was able to see some of the original designs, and I've talked to the creator about it. They really, the amount of detail that they thought about how the set worked. What does it look like? What's it inspired by? They were talking about like flower petals, how the stage sort of opens up.
Yeah.
The whole thing like a flower. There's a structure, like, so that we have a structure on the stage that is inspired by old school German circus. Having the band on that live in that structure as well. That's also like inspired by a German, like traditional circus in Germany.
Yeah.
Like a really beautiful detail that I was told, and not a lot of people know this, is that even the stage is a circular stage, and if you look at it, it has this like sort of blue texture, and it's kind of like a white, kind of milky way to it, and it's because it's supposed to be the night sky from premiere night when Kooza first had its premiere in Montreal 7 years ago. So it's the night sky, and if you look, there's stars. It's technically constellations all over the floor, and it's one of those things that it's just a nice detail for the show to have in its back pocket. So they really thought about a lot of these things to have a lot of magical element, spirit behind the show, rather than just blasting it with sort of design elements.
Yeah.
I mean,
and there's
you can feel the passion behind it.
Yeah, and there's something so beautiful about the simplicity of it all. Like, there's a reveal at one point where you just like, I was like, it was breathtaking. Like, but at the same time, it was so simple. And I think that with this show, like, less is more for sure.
That's it, and I think it enhances the storytelling. I mean, I understand that with this show, what the nice thing is like. You can bring more or less story to it as you wish. Like you can watch it and it can be just a beautiful show. But if you want to look at it in terms of a story, you can add your own metaphorical significance to a lot of these acts and what they mean in terms of the story for the innocent. So it's interesting to hear everybody has a different take on what does this act mean? How does it relate back to the main character? And many people that come away with a completely different idea or a beautiful imagination of what that was. And and there's a lot of people that just said, I really like that act, and they didn't, and it wasn't like force feeding a story to anybody.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
and
absolutely. And I think that was something that was so gorgeous about the show altogether is like, I got two not completely separate interpretations of the show with seeing it twice, but definitely saw some things the second time that I didn't even notice the first time where I could put some things together. So interpretation is a huge part of this show, which was actually really cool.
And that's I mean, that is the interesting part about it, that every show is going to have some sort of quality to it that people are going to take away, you know, like the way somebody lands a trick, and there is a rotation as well. We have 2 rotation acts that come in cover for some of our main acts. We have Icarian games, which is like when they're foot juggling each other.
Okay.
Doing something like this. And we also have a Diablo act. So I'm not sure if you ended up seeing any of those, but we also have some of these that
I don't think we did.
It might change, you know, it'll change something that you might have thought about in one show or the other.
Yeah, well, we did see a variation because the second time we saw it, there was a drum solo. The drummer came out on a moving stage, and I was like, oh, that wasn't in the first time. So yeah, it was just little things like that is really cool. So if you are seeing it for a second time, you might see something new. I love that. That's so cool.
That's it. And I think that, you know, inherently, because there's so much going on in a large-scale circus show like Cirque du Soleil and Kooza, like, you're always going to find those details no matter what. You can come back so many times and just focus on one performer. Wow, that person.
Yeah.
And, you know, because I find that a lot of times you watch the show the first time and there's so many things and you're doing this, you're looking around, and the second time, you know, and then by the third and fourth time, you really can just go like, you know what, I just want to watch one person and just see how amazing that one, especially in the big group act. There's a few group acts and there's a solo act. But wow, I just want to look at this one person, follow them, and they'll blow your mind. You know?
Right.
Go, wow, I'm really happy. I just focus on that one person.
Absolutely, I did that the second time around. I wanted to during the what is it, the Rings of Death or Wheel of Death?
The Wheel of Death.
Wheel of Death. It's so hard to like focus on one of the 2 guys that are just risking their lives for our entertainment. You know, it's like, it's crazy.
That's the one act that had me holding my breath, like, majority of the time.
Yeah. That's a good one to remind yourself how to breathe. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Right. But speaking of breathtaking, one of the things that I always appreciate about a good Cirque show, any Cirque show, is the soundtrack and the live band and the singers that accompany the show. And Kooza's no different. The band is just so beautiful. And I think without the soundtrack of any Cirque show, it's different, you know. And so when you put these live performers there, it changes the whole concept, the whole aspect, the whole feel of the show. So what are some of the things that we might not realize about this aspect of the show with having a live band?
That's a great question, because the band are sometimes some of the most underrated performers in the whole show, and we have some amazing talent up there. And so the biggest thing I would say is that our band leader, who is running the whole band, all that stuff, he is also technically a stage manager, because it's not always the case for any other band, but in a circus it makes sense that he's one of the people that is cueing light or cueing things to happen on the stage, because he's counting in with the music. So he'll actually count in a lighting cue or a curtain cue with a 3, 4, and boom, and then something happens. And so we have a technician or a stage manager who is doing a show call, who's telling everybody when to go, when to move, when to do all these things, and and then they're actually working hand in hand with our band, who is playing 5 instruments throughout the show, 5, 6, 7. I'm not even sure how many. He's doing all these things. He's running. There are bits of some of the music that are underscored already, so they're a track that the band are playing over top of. So he's doing those sort of things, and they have to go off of what is happening on the stage. So if something takes a bit longer, takes a bit shorter, he needs to adapt everything in real time and signal to the rest of the band when they're going to go into the next section. So this guy is running on, I don't know what kind of coffee he drinks, but this guy is so focused. he knows every single detail about every single act, and the music changes when this performer points their toes. But if that performer is not doing that trick today, and another person is, maybe they don't point their toes at the same time. So he's waiting to watch this person's pose to let everybody else know what they're going to do. But yeah, it's truly amazing. And sometimes they rotate. So our band is also making some of the sound effects for us as well. So they have keys and things that they have to play with us. They have percussion that are going off of us. The singers are absolutely amazing, beautiful. They have, they're choreographing dances and movements that align with the rest of the show. So honestly, there's so much going on in the band, and I've heard tell of the musicians. They all think that the bass player is one of the most incredible people, because apparently he never played the same show twice. He's grooving in the back, he's doing something, but because he's accenting something that's going on the stage, a certain kind of jump. Yeah. Like that. So every time it's different. Every time it's unique. You can't even write out what he does, because he's just there following the action on the stage. Amazing.
That is so crazy. Yeah. It's the care like that Cirque puts into their shows that makes me a lifelong fan of anything they'll do. I mean, I walked into this show knowing I was going to walk out a fan, just because I know the history of Cirque and what they do and how the other shows have made me feel. And I have to say, like, I walked out and I bought a shirt. I was like, I'm a lifelong fan. I will tell everybody I know about this show. But a lot of that has to do with like you and the other clowns and the acts. So I guess my final question for you would be, what are some of your favorite acts, or can you tell us and everybody listening about some of the acts that we'll experience when we go and see Kooza?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, because I never know how to answer it exactly. But I would say that for me, they rotate. I never have like one act that I'm like faithfully loyal to that one act. I think it depends on how I'm feeling, because 2 years is still a short time for a Cirque performer, but it's long enough to have gone through different phases of how I've been feeling and whatever, and like, oh, you know what, this act is really inspiring me today, and then you know what, another act is really inspiring me today. Like I love the power that the Silk performer has had, the aerial Silk, which is now going to be a new act, actually. So we have a new aerial hoop. Oh. But the strength and power of that one act is incredible, and it's exciting and it's strong. And then the other times, you really feel a little bit more rock and roll. It's a bit like kind of your music taste. Sometimes you're like, I'm a little bit more into rock and roll, metal or something, and that's your Wheel of Death. You're going to want a little bit more. Boom. Wow, look at this, and then something you might feel a little bit more tango-y, a little bit more da-da-da. That's your unicycle act, your high wire act. It's the regal and majestic, so you have all of these things that you kind of, it's kind of like a music taste. It's sort of, for me, it rotates. And
what a brilliant way to put that, because you're so right. Yeah, you're so right. It's so tied to the music that it would be, am I into classical music today or heavy metal? That's a good point.
Yeah, and I think that it's interesting to have been able to see that in myself. Like, why don't I have one favorite act? It's really hard to choose, fall on one, and that might be true for any audience members. They just might be into a certain style or a certain power or a certain kick that day, and they're like, you know what? Peterboard was it blew my mind. Yeah. On another day, if I had in this stuff, so.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. When we left the second time we had seen it, we took our daughter the second time. She's 15, so getting her to be interested in things is getting a little bit more difficult. But
things like this she loves, because she goes to a performing arts high school. She's studying musical theater, so she was so into the musical aspect of it and all of the performances. She said the opening act made her like nearly tear up. I was like, wow.
And we joke that she has no soul because she just doesn't cry anymore. So it's like, so for her to say that was like super impactful for us. But, when we left that show, I didn't ask, hey, what was your favorite act? I asked her, what was the one that made you bite your nails the most? Or what was the one that made you maybe tear up? So I asked her kind of her favorite in genres instead of what's your favorite act, which I would ask anybody that saw the show that way.
It's interesting. What do these acts fall into, and how do they resonate with each audience member individually? It is interesting. Even the Gordon Horton act can be impactful, or it can be inspiring, or it can be, it depends on your age and who you are as a person. Like I like being able to see some of the children in the audience. Like you can see who is inspiring who.
Right.
When our artist is out there, I because I'm spying on the audience, I can see some of, especially little girls, so inspired by her. The strength of this woman, so inspiring. You can see, they want to be up there, they want to do that, and that's really incredible. And then, so it's really nice to see, how different performers and different acts, different disciplines can inspire.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, on that note, if you're ready to be inspired and amazed, make sure you catch Kooza at the Old Laguna Hills Mall, with performances running on select dates through August 4th, or when they come back to Santa Monica from October 19th to December 1st. For showtimes, tickets, and deals, head over to cirquedusoleil.com/Kooza. Duncan, thank you so much for joining us and giving us some behind the scenes look at this amazing show that we've just fallen in love with. We really can't wait to see you again in Santa Monica.
I would love to see you all there. I'm so excited to bring it on. We love full houses because it just makes my job so much more fun as well.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Knowing us, we might be in Laguna at least one more time.
We'll probably make it to Laguna one more time at least before you guys leave. So hopefully we can meet you in person next time. We're so excited to have you on our show, and thank you all for inspiring us and putting together such an amazing show. We'll hope to see you soon.
Hey, thanks so much, everybody. All right, we'll see you there.
Up next, it's Quote of the Week.
It's time for Quote of the Week. Putting words together that last forever. It's Quote of the Week.
All right. So this was actually a really good quote as it relates to the conversation that we had with Duncan from Kooza. The main character, as we had mentioned, was the innocent. Tabitha found this one, and I thought it was really clever. So Walt Disney said, "The worst of us is not without innocence, although buried deeply it might be." Beautiful quote. All right. Well, that's the show, everyone. Here we go. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed that interview with the clown Duncan Cameron from Kooza. We really enjoyed the show, and I hope that you guys get a chance to go see it. Again, you can find tickets at cirquedusoleil.com/Kooza. If you don't get to see them before August 4th, they are coming back in October, and I really hope that you get a chance to go see them. I urge you to go see the show. It's an amazing performance. The acrobatics, the clowning, everything about it is just so amazing, literally amazing. So please do yourself a favor. If you've got somebody that you love that has a birthday coming up, or Christmas presents would be a really good idea, please, cirquedusoleil.com/Kooza. Always a good idea. So, again, we want to thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your loyalty to our show. If it's your first time listening, thank you for sticking out. Please subscribe. If it's your 100th time or however many times you've listened, please, if you haven't already, leave us a review. Those stars count a lot, and it really helps us to spread the show to other people that might have an interest in what we talk about. So please do that. It takes like literally 10 seconds. If you have any comments, questions, or any stories you want to share with our audience, please email us at friends@magiconmainstreet.com or head over to magiconmainstreet.com where you'll find a questionnaire form or links to our social medias. If you want to find us on Instagram, that's where we're most active. That's going to be at Magic on Main Street Official. Give us a follow, give us some likes. We love your attention. Please give it to us. We're craving it. We pay to entertain you, if you didn't know that. This show is not free. We have a lot of different services that we pay for and equipment and all kinds of stuff. So we're actually paying to talk to you. So if you'd like to become a Patreon subscriber and contribute to the show, that way we can maybe make a little bit of that back, we would really appreciate it. For as little as $2 a month, you can get early access. You'll never have to listen to ads. You can find out more information at patreon.com/Magic on Main Street. Also, please, like I said, subscribe, leave a review. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe, hit that button, mash those likes. You know what they say on YouTube channels. Do all those things. And please share our podcast with the Disney lovers in your life. We would really appreciate that. But with that said, on behalf of Tabitha, Kenzie, Scar, Arthur, and myself, thank you so much for listening to the Magic on Main Street podcast. We'll see you real soon.
Bye-bye.
Magic on Main Street, just like a churro, you're so sweet. Our time with you is such a treat. Spread the Disney love, thanks for hanging out with us on Main Street.